Hello, baby gangsters, this is Calvin, also known as Rumor, and this is my first ever playthrough of Honkai Star Rail as Anaxagoras gets ready with his gun here. Very calmly loads the gun, by the way. You know, very cool, very calm. We're about to meet with the Council of Elders. The Council of Elders stuff has been one of the most interesting things and one of the most interesting dynamics with the relationship, or lack thereof, you would say, with the Chrysosayers and Aglaea, and now adding Anaxagoras to the mix as well is so interesting too. There's a tension there that honestly is constantly in the background all the time, and now we get to actually talk to them directly. I don't like the Council of Elders, not all of them, I don't know all of them, but Kynes has been very, very underhanded. For me personally, it's one of those situations where I think that at the very least, Kynes does not give a damn about the people of Amphoreus the same way that I feel like Aglaea gives a damn about the people of Amphoreus. Again, I can't judge all the Council of Elders, but if one is infected, you know, usually it infects a whole bunch. Look at, what the hell?
Sorry to keep you waiting, Lord Anaxagoras.
What? I'm not sure if this person has like a snatched waist or they're like something entirely different. Like, what is that? It looks like an android of some kind. Why are the warriors over here as well? Look at that. They're all lined up. For a reason, right? Who is that?
It's been a while,
Whoa.
Lord Anaxagoras.
Who's this?
I greet you on behalf of all the citizens of Okhema.
Yeah?
And express my deepest regret about what happened at the Grove of Epiphany.
You legit look so freaking cool. Like, what's the hole in the chest? The voice? What are you?
It's you. I never expected that you would personally come and meet me.
So Anaxagoras knows them, obviously.
By Kephale and Lantern above, I have come as a testament to the justice of the Council.
So they're representing the Council of Elders? I mean, it's not surprising to me that in this world there is, like, you know, technology like this, but is it like a technological thing, or is it like an actual, I don't know, like, I don't know how to explain it, honestly.
There are anti-Catherans here?
Anti-Catherans.
They have been a rare sight ever since the Chrysos
So it's
War.
like, I thought it was like maybe like this android creation, but it seems like it's an actual civilization, possibly?
I extend to you my utmost respect, revere, Titan.
Great voice acting as well, by the way, but like already, because of the way the voice acting is happening here, very grand, but I'm not sure if my trust should be placed here. You know what I mean?
I am Lygus, though you may call me Lygus.
Okay.
Holding an honorary position within the Council of Elders in Okhema, and as the Theoros, I stand to protect the right of all upright citizens to express themselves freely.
Well, that is what we would want. We did read about how like they would invite people to be members of the Council of Elders, and they have people from different regions, parts of Amphoreus become members of the Council of Elders so they can be represented properly, like, you know, because everyone who comes to Okhema has a right to like have a say in all this stuff.
You can see them too?
Oh. Man, I didn't even think about that for, you know what I mean? It's just like, you know, you're so used to Cerces being here now.
You know about us. We anti-Catherans perceive the world through the amplitude and frequency of souls.
I just realized that the chest plate is literally like two hands cradling like this interesting, like, it's like almost like a constellation of some kind. And so anti-Catherans can see the world through amplitude and frequency of soul, so they can see the Cerces.
Just as I am conscious that Lady Aglaea is secretly listening.
Oh, wow.
On our private meeting from afar. If necessary, Lord Anaxagoras, I can sever the golden thread to protect your fundamental rights.
It's quite interesting, this type of topic, what he's saying here. He's saying that Aglaea is listening in, and he can also sever that golden thread if he wants to, you know, if he wants to like be more private. I think Anaxagoras is probably going to say whatever, just let her see maybe. But here's the thing, right? it brings up an interesting conversation already. Not only is this like really incredible that that he can do this, but also the fact that like, yeah, like even though like I don't like the Council of Elders so far, would you guys agree that like it still is Anaxagoras' right to, as a living being, to weigh up his options in a proper way, in his own private manner, right? So in a way, it's like you can't fault Aglaea because she's like she has the fate of the entire world of Amphoreus in her hands, basically trying to protect it. But also, you wouldn't fault Anaxagoras if he said, "I want this to be private," right? You know, it's interesting.
The demigod should know better, for such is her station. Spare those poor threats.
Oh, he said that on purpose.
And just let her listen to my words. They shall serve only to unveil her own folly.
Honestly, though, like when this is what I expected from Anaxagoras. Yeah, again, because this game writes these characters really well, so that you know what to expect sometimes out of them. Sometimes he surprises you, which is fun too, 100%. But that's like, you know, that's also a part of writing, is to surprise people, and also like it's like you can follow a thread, and as long as the surprise makes sense, right? It's like, you know, when we found out Aglaea wasn't actually like an evil maniac, it was like, oh yeah, but like that makes sense. The story makes sense. It's when they do surprises with characters just for the sake of surprises, it doesn't work, you know. But in here, like, it's like, yeah, he's just saying like, yeah, let her listen. This is only going to make her look worse, in his view. I'm not saying that's what I feel though.
As you having a countermeasure.
Interesting.
I need not any plan, because she can do nothing other than petty espionage.
Oh my god, and she's listening
As the
in.
Citizens' Assembly approaches, and with Orynyx's fall, any attempt to capture the core flame within me will only usher chaos and calamity.
Interesting.
A truth she undoubtedly comprehends.
So because the Orynyx has fallen, that's a big hot topic, right? But also, since the Citizens' Assembly is coming along, if right now they like did something to apprehend this from Anaxagoras, do you think the people would be like very like nervous about the Chrysoseirs? It almost creates like maybe an energy that like, you know, they can do what they want and say what they want and do what they want, even though that's not like why she would do it. She's doing it to protect people. Like maybe that's what it would create. It would create like some sort of like chaos, you know. It's the same thing as like, you know, getting rid of protesters or something, you know. It's like you're creating more protesters, you know.
While I, Anaxagoras, serving as the Grove's special envoy to Okhema's Citizens' Assembly, have long known.
So interesting this is. It's so interesting.
Let's forego the formality of asserting authority, Lord Lygus. Lead the way.
I genuinely love this conversation already.
Very well. Surely Lady Kynes would appreciate such assertiveness in an ally. She's been waiting. Follow me.
Or is she walking through this like host of soldiers here? I don't like Lady Kynes. She has shown so far that she has been someone who does not give a damn about the people and only cares about the actual power that brings along with this. She has a thing out for the Chrysoseirs as well. I think Anaxagoras is going to see through Lady Kynes, to some extent at least, in my view.
Is there something on your mind, Lord?
This is such an interesting character. Look at this guy.
Nothing really. It's just a question that I contemplate every time before I ascend to Dawncloud. For the Titans, does the falling equate to death?
Okay.
A pondering truly deep. Time is on our side. Do you mind sharing your reflections with me?
While all living beings must ultimately face their demise, Kephale has yet to meet theirs. Their journey continues unhurriedly along this long path.
Are you suggesting that Kephale may not have truly passed?
Okay.
Yes. For dying implies an ongoing process, an action, whereas death signifies a static state, a definitive termination.
I'm sorry to say this right now, but the tilt of the head, he's just so gorgeous. But he's saying that like when you're dying, it's like you're still alive, right? It's still something that's happening. But he's saying death is the definitive state.
In contrast to mortals, Titans exist on a grander scale of space and time, thus elongating their passage into death.
Interesting.
The notion of their fall is but a misinterpretation born of mortal ignorance.
Do you think that, like, he's saying that, like, since their power is still a part of this world and they're still, they might be dying off, like we've seen what was happening with Ornyx, right? But that still signifies like a process that is happening, right?
An intriguing concept, albeit challenging to substantiate. After all, Kephale has maintained a profound silence ever since the era Arasa, while scholars and priests alike have conveyed the message of the gods' imminent fall.
So they've been silent since the era Rasa.
Perhaps the gods in their arrogance deemed it beneath them to reveal their perspectives to mortals.
And that would be so interesting because I think the Titans are way closer to the world of Amphoreus than the Aeons are to the world of the cosmos, right? The Titans communicate with people. They have like almost have like in some ways. I feel like especially with Ornyx, like relates to the people in some way and can understand people in some way. So it's interesting that like some of the Titans would feel that they are above the mortals when the story since we've gotten here is that the Titans kind of like work hand in hand with the mortals until like the Black Tide arrived. It's so interesting to me that like, you know, Anaxagoras not only has a perspective that is against the idea of the Chrysos heirs and not the Chrysos heirs, but against the idea of the Flame Chase journey and the prophecies and stuff like this too. But he also maybe has a different perspective of like the Titans and their view and their worldview and their purpose and their perspective on humans, even in contrast to like, you know, everyone's everyday beliefs of them, you know?
Could you elaborate on your statement?
Always elaborate. I love a bit of elaboration. Look at the back of this guy's hair.
Cerces, the kin of the Skyfather as recounted in myths, now resides within my brain. Were I to inquire, Kephale would have no cause to refuse.
Okay.
Oh.
That very well could be true. But what if the world-bearing Titan still chooses to remain silent?
In that case, the myths crafted by the people of Amphoreus are nothing more than pitiful jests.
Is he saying that because Cerces has answered? Is that what he's saying? Because Cerces has answered, there's no reason for Kephale to not answer. So if he doesn't answer, that means that he's just like, maybe he sees himself as better than humans?
It's worth a try.
Is that what we're
I
saying?
believe, and I'd love to witness the fruits of your theory and the change it may bring to this imperiled world.
Sorry if you can hear a garbage truck outside, but they're just doing the job. Without them, things would be rough, you know?
Because I completely concur with you on this aspect. If the Titan has indeed met their end, any response from them would be impossible.
Okay, so it's saying like they wouldn't be able to talk back if they were like, you know, completely gone. I guess. Oh. Wait. What? 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 What is happening? What is happening?
Please,
Oh,
Professor.
this is a normal occurrence? This is every day?
The children of humanity have indeed created
What?
a spectacle.
So the way that they reacted there seemed like it was like some sort of like maybe like this is just how you get here? I thought like Kephale was like about to like communicate with Anaxagoras on a level that we hadn't seen before. I was like, wait, what? He was just like, you're right, Anaxagoras. We hate humans. Here's my hand. Like I was like, what the hell is happening?
Welcome
Jesus.
to Dawncloud.
This is how you get to Dawncloud, I
The
guess.
atmosphere here carries a greater sense of solemnity than the mundane clamor
Ew.
of the Memorial Palace, with entry permitted only to the invited.
That's also not boding well for my opinion on this place. Like, you know, it's like, I don't know. It's way calmer because you have to be invited here, you know? You have to be invited to this place.
Only esteemed beings grace this place.
Oh, come on.
And among them, I've received priests, scholars, warriors, and now we even have the honor to be in the presence of a titan. Oh, what a joyous occasion.
A joyous occasion. Yeah, so this is interesting because it is in total contrast to the energy and the to me the feeling of Okhema that I get that Aglaea wants to bring to Okhema, which is the idea of Okhema, is the feeling of togetherness and the feeling of everyone working together and helping each other, and different regions and different worlds all having a say and all this stuff too. Like the idea of like them being like, we so like it that it's only invite, only the best of the best can be here, darling, only the best of the best. It's like, yeah, this is completely opposite to Aglaea's vision of what like Amphoreus is. As I said many times, Amphoreus is a beautifully romantic world with some amazing characters, and their feelings are so amazing to follow as well. And I love the love that they have for each other and the people here. It's not apparent when you first get here, but it's very clear that Aglaea, like, you know, and the Chrysos heirs love these people. Even Maide, who comes off as like very prickly, even like loves the people in such a way. I'm not saying there are not people up here that love people, but like it always like rubs me the wrong way when people are like, you have to be here for like an invite. Oh yes.
Once deemed a blasphemer, now a surrogate for revered divinity. The honor should rightfully be mine, shouldn't it?
I think he likes that though. I think he likes he was called blasphemous now. He's the one who has Cerces with him, you know. I think he likes it.
I'll notify Kynes and the others of your
Notifier.
arrival. Kindly wait for a moment. A soldier will be here to guide you shortly. In the meanwhile, you are welcome to explore the vicinity, but kindly remain within the guard's view.
Sure.
Delaying the crucial meeting is something none of us wish to see, I presume.
I'm well aware of Kynes' methods. There's no need to emphasize that.
As you wish. Your cooperation
Such a cool
is
design.
much appreciated.
Such a cool design. It's unnerving, but it's very cool.
Alas, I had hoped for a brilliant plan from you, but it turns out you just left one cage to enter another.
Cerces, what a line. What a line. So she was like thinking Anaxagoras has something planned here, but now she's like, you're literally just like, you know, and that can happen many times. Like, like Anaxagoras is basically choosing, like, you know, which is the better cage for him, right? Because, you know, you're in this case, what's going to happen is, right, you're either a servant. No, I want to make it clear here, right? I don't think Aglaea would ever see someone as a servant, right? She will do whatever it takes to get the core flame on her side 110%. So obviously it does take some choice out of it, 110%. But she also like wants to give people a chance to like make a choice. But it is one of those things where it's like either you're joining the Chrysos heirs and you have to follow their flame path, or you can, you know, join up with the Council of Elders and Kynes, and then you have to follow their path. But the vibe I get of Anaxagoras is that I feel like he would find either a happy medium or like he has a plan in some way, you know?
Save your concerns. I know very well.
Yeah,
what I'm
that's the thing.
doing.
He gives a vibe of someone that like I know is smart enough to make the right decisions.
I shall depart
You know?
to explore the surroundings then. Now that I look around, I wonder if there are any murals bearing my portrait around here. I'm quite intrigued to see how the children of humanity beyond the grove perceive another Titan.
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting thought, right?
Off you go. I won't be joining you.
Yeah, only Anaxagoras could say to like a freaking Titan, "Be off with you, on you go."
This Titan appears to be quite at ease. I should investigate the Council
there we
of
go.
Elders' recent
Yeah.
activities first.
Be aware, I can hear you perfectly well from here.
Yeah, when I said that, like, you know, he would find, like, look at Kephale up here. It's such a cool freaking thing, isn't it? It's so amazing. Like, it's such a gorgeous location. But when I said, like, he would find a happy medium, I don't think he's generally going to be, like, going in between stuff. I mean him more as in, like, as I said, I think he would have a plan. He's not dumb. And not that, like, you know, people who don't have plans are dumb. I just think it's one of those things that they built up Alex Agris' character as someone who, while he doesn't believe in all the same thing that, like, the characters we love believe in, he's someone we can trust the mind of and the forward-thinkingness of his character. He's not a mad scientist who I worry about being let loose on the world, because I generally think he's not someone who desires to be, you know, he doesn't look at science as a way to hurt people, right? I don't think he sees it that way. We've seen he cared about the people of the Grove. We've seen that he cared enough about the emotions of the people outside of the Grove. I think he's going to do, in the end, he's going to do something that is good for the people, and in his eyes is good. Because while, like, it's totally understandable if he wants to do something that is serving himself, because 100% he has a right to. He has a right to, like, you know, live his life the way he wants to. I think in the end, whatever thing or conclusion he comes to, it's a weird thing that, like, in my mind, I kind of, like, trust him already. But that's just because he's been so kind of, like, very... Like, he's been brutal at times, but I genuinely just don't get the vibe of someone who has people's bad, like, interest not in mind. I just don't have that in my mind, you know? I don't see him as an uncaring, cold individual. I see him as someone who's incredibly smart. Sorry about that, guys. I just wanted to say that I don't think that his standoffishness comes from the fact that, like, oh, like, you know, he's just unbelievably intelligent. Because I think that, like, you know, there's some people who are just mean who are not intelligent, you know what I mean? And they think they're intelligent and they're just being mean. It's like when people go, like, I'm just brutally honest. And it's like, yeah, but you love brutality more than you love the honesty, don't you? You do. But in his case, I feel like it's one of those things where we see him, like, perceiving Kynes so much and so instantly and so well. We see him perceiving Aglaea's actions, you know, with the golden thread and all this stuff so well, that I think there is, like, a part of him that, like, because he's able to perceive this stuff so well, and he's able to be such a, like, a good assessor of, like, people and their actions, instead of, like, you know, being very, like, romantic on the base level that a lot of characters are in this game. When I say romantic, by the way, I obviously mean, like, you know, emotional and very, you know, polite and all this stuff too, and very beautiful in the way they speak right away. I do think that he has this kind of thing where he is constantly wondering, how is this person perceiving this conversation? When this person's talking to me, what do they mean, and how do I fall into this category? How can I figure out some more stuff out of this? How can I get more information out of this? I think he's constantly thinking about this. I think he's a teacher, but I think he's also, like, a student of the world. I think he just loves assessing things. He loves perceiving things. I think all this stuff. But at the same time, too, I think what makes his character so interesting is that he's not just, like, this bare-faced character who is constantly just being like, yes, this person's doing this, and this person's doing that, and I think this person acts this way, and this person's treating me this way. I know what this person's doing, you know? Like, he's not just that. He's also someone that, like, will, when needs be, as we've seen, will play into his own emotions and accept his own emotions and also care about other people, right? He's not just cold and heartless. He's the type of incredible scientist that you want in the world, you know? Not just someone who is trying to hurt people, but someone who genuinely, like, you know, values information over, you know, I guess values information over emotions when it needs to be that way, when it needs to help someone, right? When he needs to do something that needs to move something forward. But when it's time to care about people, he also cares about people. Does that make sense? You can tell he cares so much about, like, study and the world and helping the world progress and helping his studies progress, while at the same time also understanding there's a time and a place to care about people too. I don't know, he's just a very interesting character.
Professor Anaxa!
Oh?
Over here!
Is it a student? Does that make sense? Maybe I'm not making sense. Maybe I'm just, like, all over the place, but...
Professor Anaxa? Word has it that the scholars of the Grove valiantly perished resisting the Black Tide. To find you here safe and sound, thank the
He
fates.
sounds so relieved.
You could say it's the fates toying with us.
It's only the Cremnoans and Idonians who chase glory through death. But your survival is a victory in itself. I'd settle for that gladly.
That must feel good, right, to know someone survived.
So, are you here to report the incident to the council? I heard that after the Black Tide devoured the grove, Okhema would be next in line, even with the demigod of strife standing alongside humankind.
So they obviously heard about Midamos as well, right? Everyone has.
Tell me, how much does the Council of Elders know about the Black Tide?
This is what I'm talking about, like right into like, let's find out more about this. Let's find out as much as we can, right?
Once Kynes and her followers learned of Cerces and Orynyx's fall, they proclaimed in the council that the Flame Chasers could no longer stand against the calamity alone.
So they're using that as a way to oppose the Flame Chasers.
Yet, when the Crown Prince ascended to godhood and repelled the Black Tide, she immediately altered her tune, declaring that all was resolved beyond Okhema, with the only remaining menace now being Aglaea and her adherents.
Oh.
They might well make their move at the upcoming Citizens
This is
Assembly.
interesting. So it's almost like, do you think she's trying to like make the Black Tide not seem as bad anymore? Because there might be a thing perceived amongst the people that like we need the Chrysosairs to fight the Black Tide. So she says, well, Midamos is already fighting the Black Tide, so now we just have to focus on Aglaea. Do you think she's trying to calm people's nerves about the Black Tide so they don't, so that Aglaea can be seen as more of a menace than what the actual problem is right now?
No surprises there, those shifty opportunists.
Oh my god, the way he said that.
Thank you for your honesty, virtuous student.
See, the way he said shifty opportunist sounds like someone calling someone like, you know, that, you know, bastard. You know what I mean?
No
Sound like a swear
surprises
word.
there, those shifty
You know, he said it under his
opportunists.
breath even a little bit, you know?
Being an opportunist could very well be a facet of wisdom.
Shouldn't you be searching for murals of yourself? I've had enough of your prattling.
I was really curious to see how you would find the middle ground between both factions, so I came to listen in. But it seems as though this Kynes is much more ruthless than Aglaea. If so, why do you want to work with her? Could it be that perhaps you've decided to readily surrender this hollow shell of yours? Just because you feel like death is fast
It's 15
approaching?
days, right?
I'm afraid you'll be sorely disappointed if that's what you truly think.
I'm so interested to see what this is going to turn out to be. I'm so interested. Really cool conversation, talking to his student. I love the way like the student as well as like respects him so much that they just give the full information out as well. That's what I talk about with it. The way he talked, he called the council and Kynes like shifty opportunists, right? It shows that again, like what I was saying, he's not someone who's there to like use his intelligence, use his forward thinking and all this stuff to scheme. Like his yes, he's very petty when it comes to Aglaea, but he's not here to kind of like be underhanded in a way that's just trying to hurt people. He's not trying to like trick people for the sake of tricking people. You know what I mean? He's not getting a satisfaction out of the idea of like, you know, like he doesn't. Let's say like right now, Finon and a bunch of other Chrysosairs besides Aglaea, even Aglaea, like they're all kind of like very nervous about him being here, right? 110%. But he's not getting a satisfaction. He might get a satisfaction out of Aglaea like being a little bit like, you know, nervous about this. But when I guarantee you, when he thinks about Finon being a bit like nervous about this, and he thinks about his other students like Castros being nervous about this, I guarantee you that he doesn't feel that kind of way of like this satisfaction of like, yes, my scheming is working. It's all making them feel like, you know, I'm so important. No, he like clearly has like, you know, standards. You know, he clearly has standards in a lot of ways. Even if he does, you know, but him like, you know, wanting wanting Aglaea to sweat a little bit is very funny.
Even blasphemous scholars can come here, it seems.
Blasphemous scholars? Oh, you're talking
Looks
about me?
like my presence here is quite unwelcome.
Now you're dead. Wizened priest, dead and priest, I guess.
Anaxagoras, I thought that you had died to the Black Tide, just like the other scholars.
Why would you even like? Would you not be relieved to see someone survived? But I think he sees them as blasphemous. Like, yeah, that's so stupid. You're dumb.
As Kephale's priest, Are you not aware of the decorum of
Tell
respecting
him.
the
Exactly. Not every dead person deserves respect, but like in this case, it's one of those situations where they died horribly. These people that like literally didn't hurt anybody were literally horrifically destroyed in their own home, like, you know?
Surely you jest. You blasphemous heretics are not worthy of respect from the Supreme Being.
You saying this with like your little guttural voice, right? Just makes you seem so small. Like, and here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with, I'm not saying short, I'm saying like in terms of soul. His soul is so small. I have no problem people being religious, but I have no respect for people who talk like this, ever. I have minus respect.
Let me remind you that you're currently in Dawncloud, so you'd better keep your deranged language to yourself.
I'm going to translate this afterwards, right, guys? Don't worry.
I am no longer that altar servant from years ago who could only acquiesce to the commands of others. Now, I have plenty of ways to deal with people like you.
Let me translate this guy, right? Okay. I have to tell you, remind you, that you're in this world now. So, any language that is forward thinking or opposite to my own thinking, you have to keep that to yourself. I'm using my power that I have now, not as a way to help people or as a thing that like really makes me feel closer to my religion, and instead I'm going to use it to be able to deal with you in a way that is an abuse of my own power. Does that make sense? Like, this is why like I never like religious people like this. I have so many people I know in my life who are religious and are just good people, you know, 110%. But the fact is, like, there's so many people like this as well who like, you know, like get a sense of power, and they think that then, okay, I should abuse this. It's like when you get this type of power, instead of using it to like threaten people, like use it for good. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure whether I should laugh
I'd
or
laugh.
cry right now. I can't believe that a follower such as you could have been made by a creation titan.
Oh my, did you say I can't believe someone like you was born?
As I see it, a dead titan can't provide you with this level of confidence, right? Then who is it exactly? Could it be Kynes?
He said there's no way you could be this confident from a dead titan. Who's making you feel like you're a bigger man than you are?
You.
Oh, we're making you feel this way?
Seeing how fond of you Elder Kynes is, I shall let that slide for now.
Let it slide.
Leave immediately, and don't impede us from receiving the Supreme Being's blessings.
I guarantee you every titan laughs at you. I guarantee you every titan would laugh at you. I just met Ornyx and they would think you were dumb. They would flick you away.
Seeing as we were able to hear of this matter from the mouths of others, it seems that Kynes is indeed quite sincere toward us. Perhaps this affair will proceed smoother.
So yeah, we're
than I
learning that
anticipated.
Kynes actually does like have a fondness towards Anaxagoras in some
Oh
way.
my, what a thrilling confrontation.
Oh boy.
As expected of one of Kephale's followers.
Are you praising or insulting him?
I'd insult him.
Praising him, of course. As a believer of the god of deliverance, it is only natural that he detests evil.
Yeah, but if a religion decides what's evil, then the whole world be effed, guys. It was effed for a long time when religion got to decide what was evil in Ireland, you know what I mean? In the world.
Did you hear me? I asked you to leave.
Keyword asked.
Go as far away from here as possible. Don't mutter to yourself like some sort of madman and disturb my meditation.
Dude, you couldn't meditate if someone knocked you out with a brick. Like, what? You're so worked up just because a beautiful man's in front of you. Like, and I'd be worked up too, but in a different way.
I've had enough of this. Could the 15th entry hour arrive any faster?
This is what I'm talking about here. This guy here is like the worst of these type of things that happen. He's the worst of this type of religion. He's the worst of this, right? Any outside thought, any forward thinking beyond this is blasphemous. This idea of like opposing evil, when in reality it's clear that he's just very self-conscious about his position. The way he talked about it sounded like Anaxagoras before was disrespectful to him before, and he's never let it go, you know? It's the type of person who gets like, I'll be honest, it's the type of person who like in school was someone who felt like they were powerless. And then they're given an ounce of power when they're an adult, and they're like, okay, I'm going to use this to make myself feel better all the time, rather than using it for good. This whole thing of like, get out of my sight. Rah. Like, he knows he can't do anything. He knows he literally cannot do anything against Anaxagoras. He knows he can't, right? So what's the next best thing? Pretend that he can, And we know people like that in our lives all the time. Like, have you ever been like threatened by someone who just is not going to do anything, and they go like, I'm going to give you a chance to leave, and you're like, I'm still standing here. And then they're like, you're lucky today's my rest day. Like, yeah, sure, dude, fine. Yeah, it's just disgusting, especially since Anaxagoras is like, twice the man he'll ever be, I'm meditating. Okay, dude, you could never be calm enough to meditate ever. If like one blue-haired gorgeous man makes you like this angry, like, I'm sorry.
Oh, my. Could it
Oh,
be
gorgeous.
that the great tree painted in this mural?
Oh,
Every plant, every tendril.
okay.
No, even every leaf could be the embodiment of Cerces.
So they're all debating about the idea of
As a
this.
result, mere mortals who did not know what the Titan actually looked like chose to paint them as a giant tree instead. Their wisdom was portrayed as fruit to symbolize how they shared their knowledge equally among the masses. Such exquisiteness indeed.
It's so funny debating the meaning behind this when Cersei's right here,
This mural is quite abstract.
Even Cersei's like, I have to decipher this.
I really can't tell whether you are praising or demeaning yourself. Now I'm quite curious whether the Reason Titan has studied figures of speech before.
Interesting question, right?
Of course, I find such stylistic devices interesting. For all we know, this could be the answer to the question, what exactly are we?
Her trying to like ask the question, what exactly are we? From a mural is very interesting.
I, for one, am not willing to admit that I could look this ugly.
Wait, is he talking about the mural?
Was this the reason why you failed in your attempt to refine my soul when you were ambushed at the grove?
So he's attempting to refine her soul.
Since you are aware of this, why did you save me back then?
So was it refining his soul? Sounds like it's trying to like bear it down to like the smallest detail. He was clearly trying to study her in some ways, right?
From my perspective, this point alone was enough to separate you from the average
So
person.
cool. The fact that instead of trying to harness the power, I guess, he was trying to like refine it. He was trying to study it. At least that's what I'm getting from it anyway.
How do two lunatics coexist in the same brain?
This is why he's a good lunatic. Because he knows he's a lunatic.
Therefore, it seems that your journey to Dawncloud this time is not just to seek protection. What, then, is the intention behind your actions?
I'm so curious. He's such an interesting
The
character.
entire plan is stored in my memory. So why don't you look there?
Then don't mind if I do.
So she can share those parts of his mind, I guess?
1 year old, 2 years old.
When I'm in a rage-baiting rage-baiting competition, and my opponent is a Titan.
Oh my. Even a member of the preeminent 7 sages must hug his droma stall to sleep. How interesting.
Wait, so is this when he was a kid? Because even if he's an adult, that's cute too. But...
That's enough.
Oh.
How unusual. Your soul is actually trembling. This must mean that behind this toy hides a secret that nobody knows. Right?
She's really getting under his skin, right?
Since our days are both numbered, I don't mind telling you more about it.
Okay.
This is a present that my sister gave to me.
Ah.
It's a doll that was made to look like our family pet.
And there we have again this sentimentality of Anaxagoras that is so apparent and so there, He's a lunatic genius who has a heart of freaking gold.
So there are other members in your family, eh? Are they also living in Okhema?
Don't say it. Don't say they're gone.
Don't you just love to pick through my brain? Go on, continue flipping through my memories.
Oh my god, when he gets aggressive, it's so... I was gonna say cute, but it's so funny.
It won't take long. You'll discover the answer when you reach the memories of when I was 5.
Oh, the black tide is everywhere. I can't bear to look.
When I was young, I couldn't accept this outcome either. Georios, Aquila, Kephale, and you, of course. Although I prayed to every titan that I could think of for help,
Whoa.
my efforts were ultimately futile.
Do you think this is what effectively made him like... I know he's not an atheist, but effectively made him like that kind of like opposed to the idea of the prophecies?
This... Could this be the inception of your research into alchemy?
Because it's something concrete, right, alchemy, right? It's something that is there right in front of you. It's something that will answer, regardless if it's a good answer or a bad answer, right?
Indeed it was. Everything started from that verdant courtyard of yours. When I was pursuing my education there, I naturally also came to learn of the Lygus' theory as well.
The first scholar.
Oh, I remember that person. He was the one to come up with the concept of souls.
Alchemy actually has a big thing throughout history with souls, even like his because alchemy was a thing like you know, obviously it was called different things throughout history, but like there were people who did try to decipher what a human soul is, right?
Not only that, he also believed that life, as well as the composition, movement, and transformation of matter, all stem from souls themselves. This is why I thought that, since all living things stemmed from the same origin, why could I not sacrifice myself in order to resurrect my nearest and dearest?
So is this what he was doing? This is what he was doing when all this went down?
Anaxa, you...
Like the idea of a self-sacrifice in some way to bring... So again, I'm guessing his nearest and dearest are gone, right?
I did it, teacher.
No, stop. Why does he have such a soft voice?
But this is absolute blasphemy. Regardless of how much freedom the Grove provides, such an act could cause you to be burned at
Look
the
how
pyre.
gorgeous this is. So maybe... So he did find a way to maybe like... equivalent exchange his loved ones back?
Your beloved, where is she now? Send her away from the Grove at once, to a place where nobody will ever be able to find her. Otherwise, the both of us will be judged by the Council of the Seven Sages.
Because we do know that he attempted, I forget the wording, but attempted to like use his own, to rip himself apart to save the Grove, right? So do you think he did this like for his love? Because it sounds like he succeeded. It sounded like in some way he his loved one, your beloved. So he had a beloved first of all. Was like maybe resurrected. We'll see, because he's saying to send them away so they won't be found.
Calm down, teacher. My sister.
Oh, sister. Okay.
She's still not in the mortal realm.
Okay.
Even to this day.
So she wasn't actually brought back physically. This artwork is gorgeous. It's so interesting here Anaxagoras be the student, because he's so like bright-eyed and open-minded in a way, you know, and even in his voice.
What do you mean?
It was naive of me to think that I could snatch the deceased from Thanatos' grip by merely sacrificing one eye.
Oh, that's what happened to his eye. He thought that trading his eye could maybe like bring back his sister, but it's not seen as like a big enough sacrifice, I guess?
Equivalent exchange.
Yeah.
All I received for that price was but an opportunity to see her for one final time. Nothing more.
So, taking his eye away didn't bring her back, but gave her a chance. That's such an interesting wording, right? Removing your eye gave him a chance to see her one final time. It's almost like, you know, it's in terms of alchemy, it's seen as a fair trade-off, right? Jesus Christ, he sacrificed his eye just to see her one last time.
Let it go, Anaxa. As one of my best students, I cannot watch you go down the wrong path without doing anything to stop it.
So obviously this is seen as like taboo, of course, and he's probably incredibly worried about Anaxagoras, right? 100%. But like, to me, once again, it shows Anaxagoras is like, and again, he is technically like the definition of like a mad scientist. He called himself a lunatic in a way too. Is it weird that it makes, like, this type of stuff, like, weirdly makes me... Because, like, you guys know, like, I'm not for the creation of humans and the resurrecting of humans and all this stuff, too, and, like, this really crazy stuff that goes on here. But it's weird for Anaxagoras that it makes me kind of respect him more that he was willing to pull out his eye just to see his sister one last time. Like, it's devastating, and I don't want him to follow down that path either of destroying himself. But there's a weird thing about it where it's like, oh my god, he is, like, actually... He does adhere to, like, the romanticism in a way, even if it's dark, of... Amphoreus. And I have to say, because he's talking about his sister, I'm talking about romanticism in terms of, like, a theory of romanticism, not like romantic as in relationships and couples. You know what I mean? Things feeling... I think Amphoreus, as I said last time, is one of the most romantic places, but not in terms of, like, relationships or love or marriage or anything. I mean, in terms of, like, its beauty and its connection and its characters being so emotional, you know?
Never do something taboo ever
yeah,
again.
It's taboo, okay.
Don't disappoint the deceased, and never harm yourself.
And he obviously just wants them to be safe.
If you can do that, this classroom will still be yours, and you'll have a chance to live out your own life.
Like, you understand why he's doing this for Anaxagoras 100%.
Since I was able to see her one last time,
Whoa.
I have no other desires.
Legit, that was okay for him? He was like, okay, I'm satisfied.
You're right, teacher. It's time for me to start a new life.
Again, that just makes him such an interesting character as well. Most people wouldn't be satisfied, right? Most people wouldn't be. That would make people crazier, you know? It's like the people say, like, I would love to see my friend one last time. And if you actually got to see your friend one last time, then it would make you even, like, you'd have more of a desire to see them after that.
I am sincerely glad for you, child. Now then, what topic would you like to study?
I wish to continue the Lygus' research.
He's such an interesting character. He's just one of the most interesting characters in this entire game, easily.
Continue the research into souls, but you know that the Grove has long since understood his philosophy like the back of their hands. Even if you continue digging into this subject, your efforts will likely be futile.
I think Anaxagoras just likes digging deeper.
No, teacher. After my fleeting glimpse of the deathly fog, I finally understood a single truth. Since ancient days, our understanding of the souls is but the tip of the iceberg.
So he thinks there's going to be more to find here about the understanding of souls.
I may have lost an eye, but my view of the world has become clearer than ever. I have grasped the truth with my bare hands. Watch as I turn this farcical world upside down.
Whoa, farcical world, by the way.
Who would have thought such a secret lay concealed beneath that hefty eye patch of yours?
Do we have, we don't have that, but I'm going to basically like save the last clip if you guys don't mind, just so we can watch it again maybe at the end. But to me, like, this idea of him witnessing his sister one last time and sacrificing his eye for this reason, which is a crazy reason already, right? It gave him, rather than giving him a thirst to see his sister again, which I'm not sure he would love to see his sister again, it made him realize that the idea of the soul and the theories behind the soul, we don't know the half of it. It's interesting that, like, why Anaxagoras is such an interesting character, because sometimes when people interact with the idea of something taboo, the first thing that happens is they might go deeper into the taboo nature of things, and then it becomes something absolutely horrific and horrible and close to being demonic, right? But with Anaxagoras' perspective, it's so interesting that, like, it actually made him, it gave him actually a very, like, interesting perspective on life, where it's like, no, I know there's more to this. I know I'm going to turn this world upside down. I know there's something to this. That's why he's like, as I said, he's the type of, like, mad scientist you want on your side, who will, like, do something taboo that technically only hurts himself, and then go, oh, the world is actually way bigger than I thought, you know? Like, he's probably one of the only, like, scientists who's done something taboo. Now, I know there's stories of other people doing stuff taboo. I mean, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is legitimately about the idea of someone doing something taboo, but that turned out like way worse. But in this case, it's like, you know, in that story, it was like literally also like he kind of like gave him Ed kind of a better perspective on the world, and but still, you know, ripped him apart in a lot of ways emotionally. But with Anaxagoras is so interesting that, like, you know, he did this taboo thing, and because of the way his mind works and because of the way his curiosity works, like, it made him like a better scientist. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
However, this story doesn't seem to be connected to your plan. In fact, I'd say that they aren't related at all.
He's gonna rip out Cadus's eye.
The answer lies within the tale. If even you cannot understand it, perhaps you should relinquish the divinity of reason to me. After all, it'd be a waste for you to hold on to it. My story ends here. Now it's time for you to tell me your secret. After all, this is what equivalent exchange means, correct?
Oh, she's like, hey, I give you something, you gave me something. Yeah, guys, I hope it doesn't make it seem like I'm ever making light of the idea, like making the joke about Kynes taking his eye out. Like, you guys know, like, I'll randomly throw in a joke here or there. I think the weight of him taking his eye out is not something that's just like, oh, he made him a better scientist. I think it's a huge thing. But the reason I'm saying that it makes him such an interesting character and such like a better scientist is that, like, again, the harm was done to himself in the progress of science, and it made him like more interested in this study after that. Whereas most mad scientists would hurt someone else to advance science, right? He did something that was to himself, even though it's brutal, but that's what makes him such an interesting character. It makes him such an interesting character that, like, you know, after losing his eye, instead of it, like, you know, making him feel demoralized and, you know, in such a way, like, not wanting to study more, it made him so, like, much more, you know, motivated. That's what makes him so interesting to me. You know what I mean? It's a weird that he brings this calmness with him, even like with his eye being ripped out, you know?
As expected, you laid a trap for me to step into. Unfortunately, even if I was willing to talk about my past, I may not know more about it than you do.
Oh? Are you saying that the renowned Reason Titan is now admitting a lack of wisdom?
Oh, he likes that.
You're following.
Oh, I didn't mean to skip it. No,
Child
no, no.
of humanity, remember this. Being cognizant of one's ignorance is the greatest wisdom of all.
Ah, I don't disagree with this. I don't disagree with this. Your followers are going to be sorely disappointed by this. No, it's so true. This is such a great episode. I love their conversation between the two of them. This is so true. It's the reason why you'll see in them Let's Plays all the time, guys. That I'm not saying that I have the greatest wisdom at all, but like I learned a long time ago that like the people who think they're the smartest in every single room are the dumbest. You know what I mean? Always. It's. I'm not saying that, like, you know. Sometimes you will go into a room of like a bunch of like evil idiots who are like, you know, horrible people who are dumb, and then you will be the smartest one in the room. But I'm saying in kind of a way of just like, it's the reason why in playthroughs, like, if I get something wrong, rather than just trying to like be like, oh no, like actually I'm right in a way, it's like much more fun to like be like, oh no, like I learned something here, rather than be like, I knew it all along, I was right all along. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying that makes me smarter than people. I'm just saying that, like, I prefer to live in a world where I don't think I'm the smartest person in history.
Now I understand. No wonder you asked me to answer your random, nonsensical questions.
Not only that, you're the only one who can shed light on my query. As the saying goes, onlookers see most clearly.
Is that so?
Lord Anaxa.
Do you want me to, is it time? It's probably time.
I saw you muttering to yourself and was wondering whether you were caught in a delirium of reflective thought. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but time is of the essence.
It's funny because now he is like legitimately more mad scientist than ever before, being perceived that way, you know?
I have a message from Lord Lygus. Lady Kynes has met up with the Council of Elders and is awaiting your arrival, so please depart forthwith.
It's finally time.
Kephale, the one who created the world, and the one who bears the world.
Sure. Look at that.
If you truly have not met your end, how will you answer the challenges of those who defy you?
So we're literally going on the path now that like Kephale is still around, possibly, right? That's what we're talking about. If they haven't truly met their end, how they're going to go against people who defy him.
What a wonderful turn of events.
Oh.
To tell you the truth, there are many people who hold grudges against that Lady Goldweaver.
Jesus, look at this place, guys. Stunning location, isn't it? Really is. Grand. Glorious.
Isn't that the dromas draped in finery?
Avoid his gaze. I don't acquaint myself with blasphemers.
Don't worry. He's too full of pride to pay us any attention.
Your nickname is Dromus as well? You must really like those creatures.
It's very clear to me that people have a perception of Anaxagoras, but they're too self-important to dig deeper into who he is as a person. I've learned that, as I said, I would put my heart and soul in this person's hand, because even though they wouldn't, you know, oh, look at the water over here, it's so pretty, holy hell. Even though I know they wouldn't take care of me on a level that is a casual conversation, and every day I wouldn't be able to have a chat with them every single day, and I probably would get annoyed at them myself. I know that, like, if I put my life in Anaxagoras' hands, I'm safer than I would be with most people. These people over here being like, don't mind him, he won't even pay attention to us. It's like, you are acting the exact way you think Anaxagoras is. Judgmental. Absolutely judgmental. We going this way, are we? This is gorgeous. The water is, like, actually, like, stunning. He's blasphemous. Blasphemous in this world clearly means... And here's the thing, I understand he technically is blasphemous, but I love blasphemers.
I hear that his views run counter to the venerationists.
This is what being a scholar is about. A collision of ideas only occurs when there are differences in beliefs.
Yes.
And it is such collisions that lead to progress.
This place is stunning.
Yet, in my view, there are only right and wrong perspectives, neither of which can coexist with the other.
Is that the same guy from before?
What radical thinking. I guess this is why the children of humanity always squabble with each other.
Here's the thing. Like, what? Look at these, like, little staffs as well. This is heavenly.
Avoiding that Goldweaver person. Why don't you address her face to face?
That's so interesting what the girl said there. Now Cerces is talking about Aglaea.
With her. Since you're in my brain, you can look for the reason yourself.
Oh, the leader of the Flame Chase journey and a demigod of Nestia.
You're really searching through my brain.
Stunning.
What are you treating it as? Some sort of toy?
Regardless,
He's getting offended, right?
You think quite highly of her, no?
100% he does.
That's because I'm a teacher who grades everyone
He's getting a bit
fairly.
nervous as well. Look at this. Before we do anything, I just want to pause for a second and say, I know I pause a lot, but I don't care. Different beliefs. Some beliefs are generally just evil and wrong and shouldn't be debated, right? 110%. But in this case, it's one of those situations where, like, I think the reason they said this and then brought up Aglaea afterwards is that, like, Aglaea and Anaxagoras working together would be one of the most, like, beneficial things to this universe. I generally think it is. It would come to a conclusion that I actually think would work much better than anything we could ever hope for. Two amazing minds with two different perspectives, but in the end, they both care about Amphoreus to a great degree. I think it would be fantastic if they worked together.
Are just ahead.
Okay?
I'll take my leave for now.
You're not coming with me, I'm scared. You want to hold my hand? Let's go. This is a grand way of, like, entering this. Like, it's so epic, right? It's so epic. I love that he gets flustered when he talks about Aglaea as well. Over like, because we know he does respect her. We know Aglaea respects him. But he obviously just, like, feels like, you know... I think he doesn't like to be perceived too much. I think he doesn't like, you know, people getting inside of his head. Which is probably why he's so reserved sometimes and so standoffish, you know? Possibly.
Welcome to the Demigod Council, esteemed guests.
Joke's on you. It's actually Sampo who came to my no. Imagine it actually was.
Lord Anaxagoras, oh, I've heard so much about you. Head of the Nusporists of the Grove of Epiphany, notorious blasphemer, a Chrysos heir who bears Cerces' core flame, a survivor of the Grove calamity.
Okay, buttering us up a little
Did
bit.
I miss anything? Well, if so, please be so kind as to enlighten me.
Since Lady Kynes is already well acquainted with me, I won't waste any effort introducing myself again. But then again, perhaps the customs are different here. Back in my hometown, there is a form of etiquette known as honoring guests. The host will welcome their guest with warm hospitality by treating them to fine wine and a cozy bed.
The music here is sparkly. It's gorgeous. It has a very like fluttery, magical feel to it. It's full of wonder, you know what I mean? Like, it's filling my heart up. It's so beautiful. They've really set the tone really well in this game, constantly with the music.
And yet, ever since I arrived, I have not been welcomed with warm courtesy or ceremonial gifts. Instead, I am met with intense scrutiny. Even more absurd, the host has sharpened their blade and instructed their servants to lie in wait in the shadows.
Yes, Anaxagoras, he's so correct. We've been judged. There's to have an image of a soldier right there.
Perhaps you intend to cut open my heart, retrieve the core flame, and then hold a grand feast for all of the guests.
Everyone, stand down.
So she did have people lying in wait. Yeah.
Thank you for understanding. I am but a feeble scholar who is not used to the stench of avarice and blood.
I love the way he can be so playfully manipulative. But what's so interesting about this too is that that could be a tactic as well. It's like the idea of bringing something into a negotiation for a contract that they don't agree with, and then when the person goes, I don't like that person being here, the other person going, yeah, we can get him out of here. You go, Jerry, you go. It's like an interesting way of doing something that doesn't actually hurt you but benefits the other person. It can be seen as a very tactical thing as well, you know?
No need to be humble, my lord. From my perspective, your courage and gumption are worthy of the reputation of the Seven Sages. Your bravery is more than adequate to accomplish our perilous endeavor.
And what is your perilous endeavor?
So, you wish to start a war?
She wants to start a war?
Well, since the Chrysos heirs are calling for war,
Hold on.
we will respond in kind. Conflict is inevitable. Since Aglaea endeavors to suppress the virtuous commoners with blood of gold, we will not hesitate to display the rights and mettle the citizens of Okhema are so entitled to.
Wait, I think she's twisting this a little bit though, right? 100%. Aglaea's not suppressing people, it feels like she's doing much of the opposite, right?
As to your question of whether peace is still a viable option, well, to that I can only say this. Everything hinges on the next citizens' assembly and whether they have a sudden epiphany amid the clamor of the masses.
So what you're saying is if they disagree with you, then it's war. That's what you're saying. Is that a core flame behind them? Because I think Aglaea would want to avoid war at all costs.
And since you, as a Chrysos heir, accepted our invitation, you have indeed given us a glimmer of hope.
I think you're walking down the wrong path here.
What brazen arrogance. What you're saying right now is worlds apart from what you were saying before you retired your cleaners.
Retired your cleaners. Look at the little smirk he has here as well.
I don't deny it. After all, they're responsible for cleaning up any threats, and just a moment ago, you were on the side of the Chrysos heirs.
So cleaning up any threats, do you think that's assassins or people from the shadows or whatever?
But now that you're an ally of ours, we can
Take a step
continue
back.
talking somewhere else. As you know, these walls have ears.
This music's so good. Yeah, like I really don't like this lady. I really don't. It sounds like to me that, like, you know, it's her way or the highway now in this situation.
I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to discuss a treatise about the Venerationists with your teacher, Empedocles.
Okay, Empedocles.
Yet, it seems you subscribe to the Nusporists instead, Lord Anaxa. I've heard that this school of thought is one with many detractors.
It's normal for ideas to have supporters and dissenters.
Oh.
Welcome back to the hub of the Demigod Council, Lord Anaxagoras.
Small critique for Honkai Star Rail. I have no problem if you want to just do a walking animation and walk me to the place you want me to walk to, because it's hard to know when, like, the dialogue is going to get cut off or not. Just a small thing. Like, if you want me to hear all the dialogue, as I do want to hear all the dialogue, throttle my character, make them slower, like make them slow down in that moment. Even if you annoy some people who want to just run, I don't care. Just let them be annoyed, because those people find something annoyed anyway. But, like, you know, that type of stuff, kind of like, I know people can say, well, Calvin, just wait a bit when the dialogue's playing. You've done that before, 110%, but it's hard to know when I should walk and when I shouldn't walk. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's a big critique. It's you know, people can even call it a nitpick if you want, but it's just something small for someone who, like, enjoys hearing the dialogue between characters.
Surely you remember that countless eloquent orators have stood in this spot before and emerged victorious by stoking public sentiment with their words. And yet there have also been innumerable blasphemous philosophers who set themselves up for failure because they refused to defend their actions.
This music is incredible.
This tiny stage is the most profound embodiment of Okhema in centuries. In 15 days, this site shall also become the most important, as well as the final turning point in Okhema's history.
Oh, they're really planning, but 15 days is when we die. We die in 15 days.
May the both of us carry out our duties with honor and lead the masses back toward the Erechrysia, a golden age with no death, strife, or trickery.
She wants to revert everything back? Erechrysia.
Oh my, 15 days and nights. That aligns perfectly with the date of your demise. Could such a coincidence?
Do you think they know
truly
about this somehow?
exist?
Using death to prove myself fits my intentions perfectly.
What strong conviction you have, as expected of the hero who dared to stand up to the Gold Weaver.
She's using language here that, like, makes it seem that Anaxagoras has already joined their side, right? You've stood up to the Gold Weaver.
As expected, she misunderstands you.
I think it's a mix of misunderstanding, but it's also like a bit of solid language to try and, like, you know, it's like the way you say, like, you know, to someone like, oh, you've agreed to come to the party, right? And it's like, no, I haven't said that yet. It's like, but you did. You said it before. It's like, no, you agreed for me. You're saying I'm against Aglaea right now. I didn't say I was against Aglaea's, you know, in a very literal sense yet.
That's enough, Lady Kynes. Dispense with the niceties.
Exactly.
I only accepted your invitation so that I can serve the commoners alongside the members of the Council of Elders. Don't test my patience with such superfluous formalities.
Tell her. Absolutely tell her.
Well, you say that now, but surely you also require my aid as well, so that you can stay alive even when being pursued by the Golden
Does she
Thread.
know about the 15 days then?
You worry too much. She won't show her hand too freely, as she still needs to garner support from the masses at the Citizens' Assembly.
Oh no, they're talking about how, like, Aglaea has literally admitted that she will take the core flame by force, right? In a way.
Even someone like me can tell that only a sliver of her humanity remains. Surely you're not asserting that she will definitely act in a rational manner.
Aglaea has proven time and time again that she can be rational, and that when it comes to patience, she is very patient.
As you're no doubt aware, Aglaea covets the core flame that I possess, which makes it the bargaining chip that allows me and the rest of you to negotiate with her. However, in return, I'll need the Council of Elders to support me as much as possible. Naturally, this includes the guards as well. You're well aware how valuable Cerces' core flame will be in the era Chrysia that you are desperately pursuing.
Excuse me. So he's planning on using the Council of Elders as a way to negotiate with Aglaea.
Talk is cheap, so you'd better act prudently as well.
I understand. After all, this battle of wits is just a means for each party to acquire what they need. As long as your request is reasonable, the Council of Elders never shortchanges its allies. Since we're both intent on mutual cooperation, let's not mince words and just speak plainly to each other.
That's what he asked you to do 2 minutes ago.
Let us decide how much we can secure for ourselves and how much we're willing to sacrifice, like true philosophers, with our words and wisdom.
Do you know true sacrifice? You're talking about Mr. Sacrifice himself, you know, right in front of you, who's willing to sacrifice so much for people, you know?
Continuing from the earlier topic, let us discuss our common enemy, Aglaea.
Dear Lord, man. Because I know that, like, the best possible outcome is for Anaxagoras and Aglaea to work together.
She is the second most experienced Chrysos heir across the whole of Okhema, who has gradually lost her humanity to the ravages of time and the ablation of the core flame.
I didn't mean to skip it again, guys. Sorry,
there
but
is
it just...
ample reason for her to take your life. Yet your previous reasoning is quite sound. As a seasoned political animal, it's unclear whether she will actually cross that irreversible boundary. Moreover, she still needs you alive so that the Titan's trial can be completed.
So there's a reason for Aglaea to not make too much of a rash movement.
Is there anyone present who can swear by the sacred vow of Kephale and guarantee that you weren't in league with that woman before coming here? Are you just trying to pull the wool over our eyes and aid her in her savagery?
See, it's so difficult because there might be a thing where the Council of Elders genuinely believe that, like, you know, there is a savagery here, and I totally get from their perspective they see it as violence and they see it as, you know, brutality. But we have seen Aglaea firsthand care for the people of Okhema in such a beautiful way. Whereas I know for a fact that Kynes doesn't care about the actual outcome of what's going to happen with the safety of people. She just cares about gaining back this power. I just don't like this woman whatsoever, you know? She's prepared to execute me.
I believe you're aware of Cerces the Executioner.
It's so funny that we...
Long before I returned to Okhema, Aglaea had already dispatched her to
Oh, it's so interesting.
If I weren't able to reach this place in time, I would have been forced to meet Thanatos first.
I'm getting this right in saying that, like, he's using the fact that technically Cerces did go to the Grove with Stell and Trian. That he's using that knowledge that people have of this and probably do have of this, as in, like, that's the Executioner. She came to find me when Cerces had no intentions of killing Anaxagoras in any way there, you know? It's very interesting he's using this.
As compared to a comprehensive plan with uncertain results, if you decide to cut open my chest and remove the core flame, wouldn't that settle her nerves even more? Everything is in place. She just needs the right timing.
Am I right to be feeling so nervous around the Council of Elders? Like, Kynes generally makes me feel like kind of like sickly.
I understand what you mean.
How do you?
At the very least, the both of us agree that this tyrant who wallows in extravagance and greed is the greatest threat to achieving peace in Okhema. The Council of Elders is willing to defend your right to live, just as we defend every oppressed citizen.
Tyrant.
However, I regret to say that sentiments in favor of the Chrysos heirs and Aglaea are only growing in magnitude. The peace that we are aspiring toward, as well as everything that we hold dear, will be destroyed completely. The city will be burned to ashes, and the citizens' blood will be shed.
You genuinely see it this way? And you think this is going to be the fault of Aglaea and the people that follow them? The reason why I think the people are following the Chrysos heirs is because they've seen results. They've seen what people have done. They just heard about Midamos going to fight the Black Tide. That's a self-sacrifice for people in this world, you know? Like, it's like, if I found out one of the Chrysosairs has literally gone to the front lines to fight against the Black Tide, I'm gonna be freaking like, hell yeah, dude. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Tell me, what are you willing to do for our esteemed citizens so that they can vanquish the enemies of our
I just feel like your language is very manipulative. Garnering support is my equivalent to garnering the support from the entire grove. I'll be the one to shatter Aglaea's self-righteousness. Garnering my support... So you're saying you get this support of the entire grove in
Although
this
the
sense?
circumstances are rather unfortunate from an objective point of view, it is an undeniable fact that ever since the grove was attacked, I have become the de facto leader of the grove.
He's the most highest ranking scholar, I suppose?
The Council of Elders needs more backing if it wishes to topple Aglaea, and it's evident that the Academy wields considerable influence. At the very least, I have served as the Grove's special envoy to Okhema for a significant amount of time. Of course, this also means that I will hold a crucial vote of the citizens.
He's very good at this, isn't he? He's very good at this kind of back and forth.
In the name of Kephale, Okhema thanks you for your sincere and valuable thoughts. At this stage, it's clear that you and I understand the benefits to be won from this discussion. Let me put it plainly. The Council of Elders has always been renowned for its fairness, and that fairness is built on a foundation of sincerity.
Sincerity.
The Council of Elders has vowed to all citizens of Okhema that it will always remain loyal to them. As for you, my lord, how will you guarantee that you will be able to live up to such earnestness and will not betray Okhema's indomitable citizens when the opportunity presents itself? Just as you now betray Aglaea when it suits you.
Is it really betraying Aglaea? When he wasn't actually aligned with her fully in the first place? Can I say the language he uses here as well by saying, like, you know, how will I know we not betray the citizens? To me, it's very manipulative as well. It's like saying that if you betray us, you betray the citizens. We are the citizens. Instead of saying how I know you not betray me, it's saying how we not betray the citizens because we are the best option for the citizens. It's a language that is already very definitive, like we are the best option, you know, no matter what. I just don't like her at all. My loyalty is unquestionable.
Surely you jest. My loyalty does not need to be proven. The fact that the Council of Elders is asking for proof of my loyalty is itself akin to a form of betrayal.
Tell her.
I am incredibly honored to have witnessed the both of you bury the hatchet in a civilized manner. However, I am afraid that I must interrupt for a brief moment. As the Theoros, I have observed the following. Lady Aglaea the Golden
What?
is currently on her way to Dawncloud.
Really?
Oh. Well, I do believe that we might have a slight
That's awesome.
overabundance of guests.
That's awesome.
Feeling dissatisfied, Lady Kynes? Despite the Council of Elders' lofty residence on Dawncloud, it must still tolerate the whims of the Chrysos heirs.
So you were holding back just now. Seems like you are better at playing this game than I. In any case, I'm glad that she's arriving here.
Is he saying that like just because you hate the Chrysos heirs and you still have to like right now they're still like kind of like de facto leaders, so you have to like adhere?
So tell me, Anaxagoras, now that you're an ally of mine, if Aglaea were to demand that I hand you over, what should I do?
You can do as she says. Tell her that the Council of Elders merely wished to chat with me and had no intention of offending her.
I genuinely believe here, by the way, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think Anaxagoras is taking the road less traveled, but I genuinely believe that I still trust him. I think that he's going to have the best interests of people in this world in mind. I genuinely think this way.
However, by doing so, the authority of the Council of Elders will be as thin as papyrus that has been soaked in blood. Not only can it be destroyed at the slightest touch, but the Council will also lose possession of a valuable core flame.
He's like saying, it's almost like he's trying to spark something here. He's like saying, like, if you give me up, you're showing that you bow to Aglaea.
No, more like 2 core flames. After all, at the next Citizens' Assembly, that young lady who who is synonymous with death, will also be standing on our side.
Wait, what?
Oh? How can you be sure
Does he have some information?
Is that of importance to you?
This is so interesting to
All you
me.
need to know is that I have a plan. In my opinion, you should be more worried about the impending
This worries me so much, but at the same time too, I hope it makes sense when I'm saying that I have a trust in this dude. Look at the side smirk here, you know what I mean? And the fact that he's saying casters to be on their side as well means that there is some plan in place, there has to be, or something. I'm not saying that he's like fully like, you know, I'm actually double agent for Aglaea. I'm saying more in the case of just like, I have no problem following this guy because he has shown that he does have the best interest of people in mind.
If Aglaea can seize me in full view of the masses today, she could also dismiss the entire Council of Elders in one fell swoop tomorrow. If that happens, the discussion that we've just had will turn into an utter joke instead. Is this the outcome that you wish to see, Lady Kynes?
He is very good at this, isn't he?
Fine. I will handle this matter appropriately. But you do best to remember this. Fool the people.
Again, fool
and
the
karma
people.
will be on your tail. I'll overlook it this time, but don't count on there being.
You know what I mean? She's using this language because, again, she believes that she is the right person for the people. You know, it's not fool the people, it's fool me. You know, it's really grimy. You know what I mean? It's really grimy, in my opinion.
Unless, of course, you crave cruel punishment and consider suffering the perfect state to ponder the true nature of souls.
Just because you put your hand on your hips doesn't make it right.
Well, what do you know? That happens to be one of my
Suffering?
rare talents.
We shall see then.
It's so interesting that Anaxagoras is so good at this stuff that he made her drop her little polite facade so quickly, you know what I mean? Is Aglaea showing up here now?
I've got to say that you've managed to really impress me again. But shouldn't you be going after more?
Dying to know what I'm
110%, that's the thing. I do want to know, but as I said, there is a trust that I have in this dude that is actually very strong.
I mean, I'm the reason Titan after all. It is in me to ask and seek answers.
Easy there. You'll learn the answers soon enough. I didn't bring it up with her purely because she doesn't have the means to give me what I truly want. It's as they say, onlookers see most clearly.
That's what she just said to her before. That's what she said to him before, what Cerces said to him before. Is he saying here that he brought this up so maybe she'll be aware of his, like, because it sounds like he's saying, like, you know, so people will be on looking, so people will be take notice of this. I didn't bring it up with her because she doesn't have the means to give me what I want, truly want, is as they say, he wants her to be aware of this. He wants her to be looking. He wants her to be kind of like taking note.
The true masters of Dawncloud have always been the Theoros, who watches.
Oh, so maybe he wanted him to hear this. Very, very interesting. This is a really, like, look how beautiful this place is. I'm sorry, guys. I keep noticing it's insane. But this is really claustrophobic in a way. Like, I love watching these type of things. It's so amazing. But there's something so boxed in that the Council of Elders makes me feel, you know? They really make me feel this way. And now Aglaea is on their way too. And as I said, like, when it comes to this thing with, like, the whole idea of casters is going to be on their side, I wonder what he's going to be able to do that. And also at the same time too, I wonder what the plan is. He's not telling us directly what he wants. But I can say with a full heart, as I said before, I've seen how he treats people. I've seen how he cares for people. I've seen how he puts value in life, and he gave up his own eye to see his own sister. I know that he would make a sacrifice for people, and I know that in his last 15 days, he's also going to, like, you know, put the people first. I think, you know, it's so interesting to be face to face with someone like Kynes, so I believe doesn't actually care about the people as much as she says. And talk about betraying the people when in reality whatever Anaxagoras is doing here is probably going to be the best interest of the people. That's what I feel. And here's the thing, I might be wrong. I might eat humble pie, you know what I mean? which is probably the, bad that I talk so much, because what did it say? Keep your words short and sweet, because you might have to eat them later. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
An expected visitor. Welcome once again. You could actually skip all the pointless debate and come straight to me to seek an audience with Kephale.
He wants to see Kephale?
I have no reason to refuse you, do I?
You may not, but Kynes has. Whoever gets hold of Kephale's core flame will get to rule over Okhema.
Jesus, man.
She's wary of me, so naturally I had to gain her trust.
Yeah.
I would say that debate was not at all pointless.
So it was all to gain her trust, and now he wants to have an audience with Kephale? Because I think what he's saying, like, oh, she would think I would try to maybe take the core flame?
Very
But he's saying
true.
that this person actually is the true person he needs to talk to.
In my view, this individual has gone to great lengths to get close to Kephale. He might very well be plotting something nefarious against the Titan.
Who's she talking about?
Are you still willing to let him pass, knowing
Oh, he's like saying, like, even I think that he could be plotting something.
Yes, very much so. All living creations are always free to visit Kephale's transcendent vessel. This comes with being the world-bearer.
How convenient it is to be able to hear what they say.
It like reduces the
It is truly my honor
formalities,
to speak
right?
to a venerated Titan in person. Please, go ahead. Let me join you both on this journey.
This is so interesting to me. So
A bygone myth tells of an occasion where Kephale once answered their followers' questions on the peak of the holy mountain. Their followers have since believed that scaling this Titan cliff is one way of being with the god.
Hear that? It's not every day that you get to climb a mountain with Cerces. You should sing me a hymn of praise.
Titan hymns are beyond me.
he's not going to care about that stuff as much as other people are. He's not going to feel that weight of it. And I think that's what makes him such a perfect candidate to go up here right now and meet with Kephale. He doesn't hold this feeling in the same weight. He doesn't hold the same. Even the presence of Cerces isn't something that he's like bowing down to. What I got from that idea there was that he debated his loyalty with Kynes in a way to get her to kind of like realize, like maybe to trust him a little bit, so then he could actually talk to this dude here, Lygus, whatever they called him, so he could get an audience with Kephale. And I think it's so interesting that even Cerces was like, we don't know what this guy's plan is, and she still doesn't know what his plan is, but he still believes that he should be able to meet with Kephale regardless. It's so interesting to me. The tension that's here is not just from like what could happen with a spark between Aglaea and the Council of Elders. It's also like, what is Anaxagoras planning really? You know what I mean? And it makes him such an interesting character to follow, but it also makes me so nervous at the same time too. But as I said, my trust is here. My trust is in him. It really is. It really is there. Because I think it's so, it's you could say, well, Calvin, you don't know him as well as others, but like I feel like he's shown his hand more than most of the characters have as well. I'm so nervous though. My heart's pounding for some reason. Oh, I wanted to get that chest to it.
Go on ahead. Take this Yanis shortcut, and the long pilgrimage stairway will be waiting for you at its end.
I have to admit, I never expected you to not ask me anything. Not even my motive.
Yeah, just like literally freely letting him travel here, right?
Because I know very well what it is you are after. As the saying goes, a gentleman helps others achieve their goals. I have a feeling that your theory will be validated at the end of this journey.
Okay.
I believe Kephale will not deprive you of your right to ask your question, especially now that you're on the brink of death.
He knows about that.
You must be closer to Kephale than anyone else. Wouldn't you
He's saying
agree?
that your theory might be actually validated. He's saying that maybe Kephale is not gone. Kephale might still be here.
I hope things go as you
It's almost
say.
like he wants him to, like, he maybe believes Anaxagoras will be able to find this out better than anyone because he is closer to death at this stage.
Putting a child of justice into a farcical world is bound to turn it upside down. It is my hope that you bring a much-needed change to this world, which is on the brink of destruction.
So he looks for change. He looks for some sort of change. Because again, the Black Tide is encroaching closer. It seems like he's, and I'm not saying that that guy isn't as devious as Kynes, but I genuinely feel like, you know, he's more with the world and understanding of the situation around him than Kynes is. I think Kynes knows that there is like a devastating thing happening, but I think she's almost like, again, ignoring the actual real problems and the real solutions, so she can gain power. That's the way I look at her a lot, you know. It's a really interesting character, and she is a really interesting character, and I'm really interested to see where this goes as well. Look at this, man.
Sup, Anaxagoras?
Sup, Kephale? How are you doing?
Oh, not too bad. Holding up this big ball as usual. Just me, I have to hold up the ball.
Did you not ask someone else that? Wait a second. 1 second. Look at this. I didn't realize he had his arms exposed as well. Gorgeous. Gorgeous design. Gorgeous design. Only Anaxagoras' beauty could distract me from doing a Titan joke, I guess. Let's check it out. Yeah, man, this just makes me feel so nervous. I'm so nervous. And it's really interesting that, like, you know, not that I don't trust Aglaea. I do. Oh my god, this place is so cool.
Going up to Dawncloud's peak.
What a splendid view. Isn't it about time you recognize the magnificence of us Titans?
Well, I don't see how this place is different from those temples in the city. All they have are magnificent facades.
He's not gonna feel that respect. I don't know why you're even trying.
And even though I've come this far, I'm still doubtful about getting useful clues from him.
I must be getting ahead of myself to be expecting to hear something nice from you.
Oh? Haven't you been in my head for some time now? It's high time you get used to how I feel about things.
They're like the odd couple now, you know?
Alright, we're just a short hike away from Kephale. No time to waste here.
Heck yeah. Oh, what's happening?
So the intellectual debate from earlier was too draining for you, huh?
What?
If Amphoreus gets a new lease on life, you should focus on strengthening your body and stop shirking social interaction.
Wait, so she's like thinking it's about social interaction here?
Save your concern.
The Titan is in sight. Can you make it?
Something is draining him.
Why? Are you going to carry me up if I were to fall now? I know how far I can go, so just hold your tongue and come along.
Fine then. I guess I won't say any more. I'll just wait till your soul dissipates completely to gain control over your body.
He's like, I know what I'm gonna do after this goes down.
Wait. Is that...
It's like a memory, right?
Cerces?
It's like a memory of Cerces.
Hey, look at that.
Can Cerces see this?
Huh?
They cannot.
What should I be looking at?
Interesting.
I hallucinating?
It would seem so.
Or do we even get to see souls when we're close to dying?
Wait, what? Is that what he thinks it is? Like, because he feels like he's maybe close to death? Yeah, I keep saying it, guys, but I have such an anxiety about this. But the only thing it's holding me in place is that I do trust Anaxagoras. It really is. Like, you know, it's really crazy. Look at this. All these are the same type of people that were insulting Anaxagoras back there, and they're on their knees, moving their hands around like they're like, you know, offering invisible plates of food to people. I'm not trying to insult people who are religious, but I'm saying that, like, you know, you can't, you know, insult Anaxagoras and then be on your knees fanatically, you know, screaming to the heavens. It doesn't work like that. This place is absolutely amazing, isn't it? It really is. And again, I think it's really cool that Anaxagoras is the one that's doing this because, again, he is the one who, like, can look at this, I feel like, from a very logical perspective. But I think it's also interesting as well that, like, because he does look at things from a very logical perspective and not from the perspective of somebody who worships these titans the same way other people do, him breaking down and seeing a spirit there, it, like, shakes him a little bit, right? Someone who is usually so, like, logical, seeing this, like, spirit of Cerces. But I guess we're going to see more of that. There's Cerces again.
Why didn't you bring your favorite spear with you on this trip, Nyas?
What?
Nyas?
Yes.
I know I've heard this name somewhere.
Yes. Is this her just talking to Nicodor?
It's unfortunate. The black tide destroyed every last inch of my calyx.
My calyx.
How could that be?
Because we know Nyas was a part of Nicodor, right?
Even a creation of Georios. From their prized ores and molten fire, couldn't escape the fate of destruction?
So even something that's created by, like, the most perfect blacksmiths.
Hey, Cerces. Do you know a certain
I love to
Nyas?
just ask directly.
Nyas? No, not that I remember. How did you even think up such a strange
What?
name?
So she's not aware of a person named Nyas? What is happening?
I just saw him. Nyas. A warrior-like figure who was just chatting with you here.
Oh my god, what is happening?
No, I have no such memory. Could you be hallucinating?
Oh my god, what is happening? I just think it's shaking Anaxagoras, right?
This is a departed spirit?
I think that's what he's theorizing, right? That because he's closer to death, he's seeing these spirits? Because we are seeing more here as well. And it is so interesting to have a character who's so put together a lot of times be so shook by this, right? Be so shaken. Like, we're clearly seeing something here, you know? It's an absolutely glorious location. It really is. Whoa. It's actually not that much of a climb, isn't it? There's always gonna be another mountain. Always gonna wanna make it move. They're talking to Nyas again. What is happening?
You two again.
See, like, it's so interesting to hear him be shook by this stuff. When his voice is usually so clear, even under... He does get, like, you know, shaken sometimes, but it's more comedically shaken. But I feel like this is so different.
Enough about me. Did Kaos ever reply
Kaos.
Well, regrettably.
The fact that it has question marks over Cerces' dialogue as well is worrying too, right? For sure.
Seems like the price of becoming a demigod is a lot heftier than we thought.
Kaos. Demigod.
So maybe they were a Chrysos heir?
I've never heard of this person. Which Titan's authority did he?
Yeah, they would have to, right?
Look on the bright side, Nyas. Since we've come all this way, I doubt he'd snub his old friends, would he?
Let's just hope we mean as much as the world to him.
Hey! Are you seeing that same hallucination again?
Very much so.
Yes. It's still you and Nyas, but you're now talking about a certain Kaos. I'm guessing he's one of your companions?
Kaos? This name sounds just as strange to me.
She hasn't heard of any of these names.
Never mind. I think I know what this is about. If things are as I thought, then they aren't hallucinations, but... souls of people.
It might be because he's so close to death.
What? But if those are the souls of the dead, then what am I?
Yeah, like if he's seeing Cerces right now.
Beats me. For all I know, you're just an illusion I conjured up in my dying moments.
This is making me even more anxious than it was before.
Let's just keep going. As long as I take in more sights and hear more stories.
Know your limits. Wander too far among the dead, and even I might not be able to save you.
Even she had a bit of worry there, right? Hey, don't go too far into this.
If this is indeed as I thought, then this will be very amusing.
I'm so worried. What are we about to witness with this? What could we witness with this? And there's more of this as well.
We meet again. I'm sure you wouldn't mind a snooping ear.
Even when he's almost crippled and you know, falling over himself, you can hear in his voice. He's like it's like he can barely speak. He's still like, you know, this will be interesting. You know, it's very Anaxagoras.
Can you keep going?
Of course. I'm just... If I knew we had to climb a mountain, I wouldn't have come along with you.
Me? No, I like hiking.
I guess this also counts as one aspect of the world-bearing burden. If Amphoreus does have a next life, you may want to get your body in shape.
None of your beeswax.
Keep your sarcasm to yourself.
Exactly.
I'm not getting anything of value from them.
And that's so interesting. That's what he, like, even with this worry, he's like, yo, I need to get more information. Which you would as well, in fairness.
I would sooner throw myself off this cliff and hit rock bottom than exercise even a little.
That's actually hilarious. Like, I feel like this is like, this reaction image could be used somewhere places, right?
I am Calypso of the eminent
Calypso.
7 sages, after all. Training would make me no different from those Helcalithist barbarians.
This is what she introduced us as before, right? As Calypso.
Calypso. She's one of the 7 sages. A member of the Grove.
So, if you remember, that's what we were introduced to her as before, right? As Calypso.
No, she can't be. I would know her name if she really were one of the 7
Yeah,
sages.
it's so interesting. What did...
Hey, Cerces. Does the name Calypso ring a
She
bell?
used it to introduce herself to Stell. Oh, what are you doing?
Cerces?
Honkai.
Gone.
That's so weird.
Doesn't matter. I can do this myself.
I don't think... I'm worried that you can. You sound like you're nearly falling over yourself.
Nearly there now. The land of the dead.
The land of the freaking dead. How about let's not? Land of the... Let's think about this. That's so... It's become like a horror movie almost in what's happening here.
Oh, beautiful old world. Where are you now?
Cerces speaking.
Oh, legendary era Chrysia. Return to the mortal realm.
Flames lighting.
Splendid gods once walked the paths we walk. Alas, all that's left of that warmth is a hazy mirage.
Why are you chanting that too?
Devoted emissaries, heretical scholars, the lost wanderer, and the desperate outlaw. At the edge of divinity, we look up in awe. In a fleeting moment of terror, the long road behind fades from memory. What are we about to witness? It feels like they're building up to something incredible. Again, this location is so breathtakingly, like, epic. It's insane what they've done with this thing. Anaxagoras, you better hold it. I'm not saying he has to, because I want him to be okay, but like, please don't, you know, fade anymore.
Finally. So, I don't get to ask the Titan my question, but all of you make for a pleasant surprise, nonetheless.
All of you?
Very well then. Let
Look
me
at him.
uncover the truth for myself.
He's fading. Anaxagoras, oh no.
Did I still fail to make it in time?
What is happening with this man?
So, I'm back here again.
The area that was like, that he perceived to be like the Nether Realm?
This is... I can hear it. I hear it from the depths of the tides, behind the closed doors of the void world. A voice ready to tell me something.
It's like he's shifting in and out between the living and the dead world, right?
This time, the voice is a lot clearer than before.
What did they say? This artwork is stunning as well.
Since we've come this far, let's just wait.
Lord Nias and Miss Calypso, are you both here to visit
Who's
Kynes
this?
too?
There's the name Kaus again, right? The other demigod? Who's this?
Yes, and we've been waiting for quite some time now.
Regrettably, he hasn't answered us.
I'm noticing the ears, right?
The worst case scenario is that he's already been overwhelmed and crushed by the world-bearing burden.
Wait, so he had the core flame of the world-bearing titan?
You're overthinking, Lord Nias. I can still sense Chaos' soul in the area. And besides, we both know Chaos' nature. A deliverer like him wouldn't fall so readily.
Deliverer.
Much less give up on all that he holds dear. Isn't that so?
It's what Minamos calls... It's what Minamos calls Phynon.
Yes, I have faith in him.
Why are we being shown this now?
That reminds me. Why are you making this trip alone, Polixia?
Polixia.
Oh, my sister needs more time to make sure the flowers are fine.
Such a pity. Both of you have hearts kinder than anyone else. Yet you are born only to take over Thanatos' divinity.
Thanatos, they're born to take over the Thanatos' path. What interests me about this then as well is that she has the ears remind me of Castorus, right? And she said here, do you think that she's somehow maybe Castorus is a descendant of Polixia?
Everything that I see and hear this time has left me shaken to the core. What may seem like a mundane conversation is in truth a once-in-a-lifetime exchange that has revealed the ultimate answer to
What are you talking
Cerces'
about?
question.
What exactly are we? What are you talking about? This music is also so, like, anxiety-inducing. It's
The
beautiful.
conjecture has taken shape and must now be solidified into a theorem. Next, I only need to seek verification from Kephale. By doing so, I can answer Cerces' question and reclaim my
So he
body.
believes that whatever this conversation was, once it's confirmed, once it's verified, he can answer the question of what are we. Again, I'm going to take a few pictures here. Just so we can have this dialogue again. Polixia was her name. Polixia.
But no, I will not do that. That isn't important.
I would like some answers.
Because another one of my conjectures, one that I have always dreamed of proving, has been proved right this
Which
very
one?
instant. fusing a mortal soul with that of a titan to replace said titan is not a ludicrous idea after all.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. You were only born to take over Thanatos' divinity. Do you think Polixia was born to fuse her soul with a titan to replace the titan? Is that what he's saying? That there's a possibility that you can fuse a soul with a titan to make a new titan and maybe like even maybe extend their life? And maybe that's what Kaus did as well? Are you both here to visit Kaus as well? Overwhelmed and crushed by the world-bearing burden. It's not just taking the core flame. What if Kaus was also melded with the soul of the of Kephale to become Kephale? I still sense his soul. A deliverer like him wouldn't fall so readily. So what if they were melding his soul with that as well? What if Polixia was supposed to meld with Thanatos? Jesus Christ, man. Huh? Oh, we're right back at the Grove. Guys, I want to make it clear. Don Hung and Hyacinth, dream that I get to hang out with these guys. But I think we just got left with something pretty insane.
What are you thinking about?
Right? We'll talk about it in a second because I feel like we're probably ending the episode sooner than later. But a pretty shocking way of like having a bit of a revelation here, possibly.
Just amazed at how this towering tree is Cerces' divine body. It's a majestic sight.
It is, and Donong's seen this for the first time, right? Because he didn't come here with us. Man, what the frick was happening there with Anaxagoras?
Is that so? You don't look the slightest bit amazed, though. Plus, you seem to be strangely familiar with the city around the great tree.
Merely something from the past that I won't go into.
Oh, is he talking about the stuff in the Zan show?
Events of the past, huh? I was also a child when I looked up at Cerces. Their leaves and branches reflected the sparkling stars, and their trunk was like a pillar that supported the sky and ground. I stood at this very spot back then, imagining the day when I could climb to the top of this tree, because I would be the closest I can be to the sky at that spot.
That's such a beautiful thing to hear from like someone's childhood as well, like, and how we like, romanticize things like that, right?
You're a sky priest, yet you study at a place that is home to the Reason Titan. That's rather counterintuitive.
Don't read too much into it. I mean, can mortals even hope to reach Aquila's realm? They're a strict and draconian god. Nothing like Cerces. Reason is willing to share what is theirs with others, but Sky only expects people to revere them.
You kind of see the difference in personalities between the Titans, right, as well, right?
You get what I'm saying, right, Danny?
Danny?
After all, the
I love
Titan that
Danny.
imprisoned you and Grey here in Amphoreus is none other than Aquila themselves.
They seem way more brutal than any other Titan, right? Way more brutal.
Yes, I didn't count on provoking the ire of a local god.
Even if we did.
But there will always be people who dream of soaring towards the sky. The Grove has a wealth of research on Aquila, and that is exactly what we are here for.
So we're here to find more research on Aquila.
It's just, I never thought Grey would
Grey.
meet with something like that before we set off. As a physician, I should have been there by her side.
That Stell is Grey, right?
Bad luck tends to come in streaks, so don't beat yourself up over it. Besides, Aglaea needs you here to uncover the truth behind what happened to the Grove. Let's just make the most out of this trip and keep a lookout for any documents related to the Death Titan. They could be useful to her.
Again, thinking about Stell in such a passionate way, right?
Yeah,
There's no rest for the weary, huh?
None at all.
In any case, what we're looking for could be anywhere in this enormous grove. Let's split up to cover more ground. Danny,
I love
your
Danny.
skills, I'm sure those monsters born of the Black Tide will pose no threat to you anyway.
I love her saying Danny. That's such a beautiful nickname.
What about you? Will you be alright on your own?
Have you forgotten that you're talking to the chief physician of the Twilight Courtyard? Have more faith in me. I'll be just fine.
Oh my god. She's adorable though.
The silence
She's so
in here is
tiny.
near deafening. With the vast amount of knowledge it holds, this academy is akin to a labyrinth of information. Even the cleverest of scholars would easily lose their way in here.
I didn't mean to. I trigger happy guys this episode. I don't know why it is. How to leave Amphoreus?
In the myths, Aquila, the Titan who reigns over the domain of the skies, is a colossal bird that overlooks the
Terrifying.
world beneath them with 100 eyes. As long as they continue to soar above the clouds, the people of Amphoreus will remain trapped on the ground.
It's very restrictive, isn't it?
Hyacinth's forebears were priests who worshipped Aquila. Nobody is more familiar with the taboos of the Sky Titan than her. Seeing how Aglaea has sent her here as a guide, it's possible that she has plans to have Hyacinth take on a trial in the future.
Amphoreus' Titan mythology?
In Amphoreus, Titans are a common topic of discussion. People create myths that in turn conceive Titans. It's a tricky task to keep an objective view when among the people of Amphoreus. Is there a way to step out of the situation and look at it from a different perspective?
Is this kind of saying that, like, because people create myths and it changes over time, it's hard to actually have, like, an objective view of, when you're amongst people who have these different perspectives, who have, like, these concrete ideas of what a god is, right? It's hard to look at a different perspective. I mean, that's the same thing if you're in a church and, like, everyone's saying the same thing about Jesus, you know, it's going to be hard to, like, you know, you have to step out of that to really, truly, you know, gain a different perspective, right? Is this,
Titans and Eons are two distinct classes of beings. Titans can communicate with us humans, and it is not impossible for us to overpower them. Upon their demise, we can even take over their divinity.
Yeah.
In this regard, Titans can be said to be a lot more similar to humans than Eons are.
Yeah, I believe that too. I think they are way closer to humans than Eons, 100%. The Chrysos heirs and the demigods?
Chrysos heirs are humans who possess heroic qualities, with most of them demonstrating extraordinary combat prowess and strength. Upon clearing a core flame trial, a Chrysos heir can even ascend to a demigod and inherit a Titan's divinity. Wait. Something about that feels off. Is this a selection process of some sort?
So what about this seems off? I'm never going to apologize for, like, reading over everything again, but... So he's saying that, like, it's a distinct selection process possibly to see who can inherit the Titan's divinity? And the Flame Chase journey in the prophecy.
Guided by the prophecy, the heroes are on a quest to reclaim core flames and usher in the Era Nova. Their efforts have seen gratifying results to date. As I expected, the prophecy is the hardest to make any sense of. But with barely any information to go on, no matter how much I ruminate on it, it won't yield any results. I should leave this for another time.
What I will say about all this as well, though, like, obviously, is like it's a lot of information.
I should probably turn my attention to something else.
But, like, this is very Don Hong to kind of, like, think about all this stuff. Like, he's someone who, like, loves information and loves gathering information. He's good at compartmentalizing all that stuff as well. He used to, like, a part of his story was he used to stay in his room and just, like, gain more information, you know, and study information.
Nobody could have ever imagined that her life would be forfeited the moment we landed on Amphoreus.
Oh my god, it's still so wild.
I should have done more to keep
her safe. But
it's not too late. We still have a fighting chance. The unique rules that govern life and death on Amphoreus might just work in our favor and
I love that he's still thinking about this in a way that there's still hope, right? For sure.
The Grove is a veritable library of knowledge. Maybe they'll have records on a similar case. Please let there be one.
Please, his voice shakes when he says it.
The clock is ticking. I should search for more clues as I move.
Because the thing is with Dan Hong is that, like...
The night sky feels unusual, now that I've gotten used to the eternal light of Okhema.
The reason why it feels so important... we're going to change our party members to have Dan Hong on the team as well. The reason why it feels so important, from this perspective, right, to have Dan Hong be like, I wish I did more. I wish I did this stuff too. It's not just because he feels like he is the leader of this team, even though I think it's part of it that, like, you know, Stell is still much newer than Dan Hong on this journey. You know what I mean? Much, much newer than Dan Hong on this journey. And I do think there's a little bit of like a feeling of like, oh my God, I let her down. I was supposed to be the one that was kind of helping her out here. She's newer in this whole like being a trailblazer. I let her down. But there's also the very personal connection he has with Stell. He adores Stell, just like Stell adores him, just like March adores Stell. There's a reason why when Stell, you know, is full goblin doing all this stuff and he's still so supportive, it's because he adores her. Do you think he would stay around her if like he didn't have to? He doesn't have, sorry, he doesn't, I know that's the opposite of what I'm saying. Do you think he would stay around her even though he doesn't have to? He can choose his own life. He can, as a trailblazer, you can do whatever you want, right? As long as it's something you want to do on your trailblaze journey. But he chooses to be around Stell and March and think about Stell and March all the time. He thought about March this whole time when it came to taking pictures. And what happened as soon as the camera's SD card was full? He had to actually face the idea of like what he was actually thinking this whole time. I miss March. Now that Stell is actually facing this crisis as well, he blames himself in a lot of ways, but he still has hope because he wants desperately to like protect her and help her because he adores her greatly. To talk about this episode, guys, I will be honest, I don't think we have like all the information to be able to like really put everything into perspective, because we don't know what Anaxagoras' like plan is really. We do know he has a theory that he wants confirmed in some way. We do know that there's a question that was being asked of what exactly are we from Cerces, and he says he was close to getting an answer, but like he obviously didn't like really obtain it fully. But I do think that like what we can talk about here is an overview of a situation as we understand it between him and, because I'll be honest, I did take my time going through all that stuff, but even in that sense, there was like a lot of stuff that we had to kind of really explore and like go through and try and decipher, and a lot of stuff going on there as well. We basically had a meeting here. I don't know the actual names of them, I'll just be honest with you. It was of the kind of like machine-looking guys that seem like they are the ones kind of like truly pulling the strings here, the ones that truly have authority when it comes to the stuff at Kephale. But the ones with the hole in their chest and like the golden thing that was cradling it. He met with us as like kind of an envoy to like invite Anaxagoras to meet up with Kynes. We found out that Kynes basically sees Aglaea as an aggressor, someone who is brutal, someone who loves violence, and someone who in her eyes is against the people of Okhema, against the people of Amphoreus, to the point that she believes that there will be some sort of like war, there will be some sort of civil war between the Chrysosaurs side and what she believes is the people. She thinks that I'm the people, they're the Chrysosaurs, they're against us. She sees Aglaea as like the ultimate opponent to her ideals and the ideals of the people. And that's why she believes it's going to be coming for a head-on collision. That's probably why she wants Anaxagoras, because Anaxagoras has a core flame. Anaxagoras is someone who is known, renowned for being opposed to the Flame Chase journey, and also someone who hasn't been known to bicker with Aglaea in the past, even with the respect that they have for each other. I think that's always like so interesting to me as well, because Cerces knows that he respects her, and Aglaea, we know Aglaea respects him as well, so there is a respect between the two of them. But from the perspective of Kynes, it actually makes perfect sense to want to get Anaxagoras on your side, because you're talking about someone who is a blasphemer. Yeah, well, who's better to oppose the Chrysosaurs and this idea of like, you know, their journey and their prophecies than someone who is a blasphemer? He has a core flame. Aglaea wants this core flame, but she can't just like kill him outright. You can't just rip it out of his chest because that would create more dissension, and especially so close to this public town hall stuff with the Council of Elders and the People's Assembly and all this stuff too. It would create a lot of unrest, and this is like a thing that's happened throughout history. It's I always talk about Irish history constantly in these videos, but when the British government executed the rebellion leaders in Kilmainham jail, it literally created more people for a rebellion, and that's what would happen. You kill, you take the core flame forcefully off of Anaxagoras, what happens? Then any person that has a little bit of doubt of Aglaea, any person has a little bit of doubt and a little bit of fear that the Chrysos heirs are maybe not as good as they think they are, what happens then? I don't trust them at all. If they would do that to Anaxagoras, if they would do that to someone who was who had like a core flame and didn't do anything wrong, what would they do to me? What would they do to someone else? I do not trust them. It changes everything almost instantly, and it's actually like something we've seen throughout history happen as well, because what happened was when they, like, as I said, they executed people in Kilmainham jail in Ireland. What happened? All of a sudden, all the people that didn't believe in the rebellion and the uprising and all this stuff against of us getting our country back, all of a sudden they became true believers. You know, it just happens. But I think it's like more than just that as well. Obviously, like Anaxagoras is like the ultimate bargaining chip, while also being someone who, if they are on your side, they are intelligent, they know the ins and outs of this world, they are driven. It's a really valuable person to get on your side in terms of you are talking about like a war against the people of the, you know, Aglaea and the Chrysos heirs. We learned though that Aglaea is not only listening into all these conversations, but she is all knowing about the situations, to the point that she's about to arrive in this location as well that we were with Anaxagoras too. Because Aglaea is not stupid. Aglaea knows that like Anaxagoras would be an amazing person to have on their side as well. Would be an incredible person to have on their side. It's just that they always bicker with each other and always argue with each other. But I think it's also like very, very playful, because again, as I said, there is respect between the two of them that is actually very beautiful too. I believe so too. When Anaxagoras arrived here though, what you find is that there is like a very mixed reaction to him being here. The people here, a lot of them think they're better than everyone else. They look down on Anaxagoras for being a blasphemer. Some of them are kind of like, no, we need this type of thought. And I think it's actually like, you know, that's why I think it's so interesting about this place. You'll have some people be like, get him out of here. While other people are kind of like, no, him being here is actually a very interesting thing. And it's actually really great to have someone here with an opposing thought, because that means we can have those ideas clash and then make something better in the middle, which is why I think Aglaea and Anaxagoras would be so amazing to have conversations with each other, because their opposing views are actually really strong, in my opinion. It's one of those situations where, you ever have two friends debating, you know, where to go eat some food? Hey, I want to get chicken. I want to go to this place. I want to go to that place. And it's like, I know this is such a bad example, but you're like, oh, you're both kind of like making good points here. Let's meet in the middle. And in this case, that's what it is. It's like, you know, like both of them make very, very good points. Both of them have very like strong views and views that you can respect. And then it's like, okay, what if we meet in the middle and one of you guys like, because Anaxagoras and Aglaea together leading a charge of this against the Black Tide would be incredible. It would be incredible, you know? There's also like this thing here where it feels like Kynes is being very manipulative in all these situations. Kynes is not only like, she describes herself, instead of saying we as in the Council of Elders, she describes it as people. So whenever it's like, whenever she says like, hey, instead of saying you're betraying the Council of Elders, she's saying you're betraying the people. Right? And this is also a very good manipulation tactic, even if it's unknowing, right? She might have deluded her own mind to the point that she thinks that it's interchangeable. Like people and the Council of Elders is not interchangeable. It's like they are one and the same. Whereas, you know, the reason why it's kind of manipulative is because it's almost like when a mother says or a father says to a child who's trying to like rebel a little bit, and they say, so you're going to betray this family? It's like, no, I'm standing up to you. You know, it's like I'm standing up to you. When in this case, it's kind of like, hey, you're standing up against us. And we saw those tactics too. Mightimos went to fight the Black Tide, and it's very clear to me that like this moment would make people believe in the Chrysos heirs more than anything. What are you talking about? A Chrysos heir who followed Aglaea is fighting on the front lines and preventing the Black Tide from hitting us. What do you mean? That is a thing that would make me believe Mightimos is doing this for us. Incredible. So she's kind of twisted this around. And from my perspective, what she did was she's kind of went like, okay, let's use this as an advantage. Now that Mightimos is fighting the Black Tide, that means we don't have to worry about the Black Tide as much. Right? And And if she can get people to believe that, then she can go, the only problem that's standing in her way from returning to our former glory is this person who loves violence and loves, like, adhering to the Titans and all this stuff too. It is Aglaea. It's almost like, it's a changing of the guard. It's like, instead of saying like, oh, we need Aglaea to fight against the Black Tide, it's like, well, the Black Tide isn't as bad anymore because of my day, so let's focus on getting rid of Aglaea now, right? When in reality, like, it's still encroaching and it's still, on its way here. At least that's what my perspective was of what she was trying to do there for a second. But to me, Kynes' whole thing is that she has so much of a grudge against Aglaea and the Chrysos heirs that it's clouding her judgment of the people, of what the people actually need. I'm not blind to the world here. I'm not trying to say, I'm not like, you guys know I'm someone who questioned Aglaea in the past before I warmed up to her. So I'm not just someone who blindly follows Aglaea. What I think, though, is that I know for a fact that Aglaea will go to great lengths to protect the people of Amphoreus, but that's just because she genuinely cares about the people of Amphoreus. If right now she knew that ripping off Kynes' head in front of everybody would save Amphoreus, you would blink. You would literally like go. You would check your phone for a second and you hear a ripping sound, and she would do it. Like, not because she's a bad person, but because I genuinely believe that she is like someone who believes in the idea of sacrifice and doing what it takes to really get to this point. And it's not that severe, right? But there is moments, like, for example, where she knew Finan wasn't going to be probably able for the job of taking on the Strife Titan's core flame. So in her mind, she always knew that it would come maybe right around to Midamos, right? Which I think is so interesting to me, like that perspective. It shows that she is a leader who cares about Finan and cares about Midamos, but at the same time, too, she's a realist. She's like, I know for a fact Midamos is better for this. I've always known he's better for this, but I'm not going to emotionally hurt Finan by saying like, hey, you're not ready for this. Because if the off chance that he will be ready for this, then even if she's wrong, it still benefits her and benefits Amphoreus. So she's that type of person who goes like, well, if I'm wrong, that's great. But if, like, I know I'm right in the end, and she was right in the end. Midamos was the right person for the job. And it's so interesting how, like, she has that perspective where I truly believe that if she's the type of person that I feel like, if you're having a debate with her, she's okay to be proven wrong as long as it benefits everybody. You know what I mean? So I do believe that this whole, like, a rivalry against Aglaea is hurtful to the people only because in the long run, Aglaea does care about the people, and we've seen that firsthand. And she does care about fighting the Black Tide. Is it a method that is really unorthodox? Yes. Is it a method that's kind of scary? Yes. Is it a thing where, like, she's hiding a lot of secrets from the people? Yes, 110%. It's all those things are true. But all of this is really to benefit the people as much as possible, in my opinion. And at least from my take, anyway. And the reason why I think Anaxagoras and Aglaea, like, have a lot in common more than you think is that we found out earlier in the episode, Anaxagoras sacrificed his own eye to see his own sister for once again. And this is why I think Anaxagoras as a character is so interesting to me as well. And the reason, the similarities I mean, by the way, is that I do believe that Anaxagoras and Aglaea both have a similar tenacity. I don't think it's the same tenacity, but the same actions. But I remember specifically my English teacher years and years ago would say to us, I remember one day he said to us, your assignment is to find something to relate to in this evil character. I'm not saying they're evil, by the way, but I'm saying, like, it's to find something to relate to some of these evil characters. I think it's the same lines where you say, like, find something that these two characters who aren't really fond of each other relate to each other. And I think if you told me, like, to find something that, like, if I was Anaxagoras and someone said, what do you relate to in Aglaea? I would say her determination, her tenacity, her willingness to sacrifice things, her dedication to see her goal through. These are things that I think they both have in common with each other. It's just that they both get it in different ways, and they both have a different mindset about this stuff. But I do think that Anaxagoras is such an interesting character because he's such a great spin on the I keep saying evil. He's not evil anyway. The mad, maniacal, lunatic genius, right? The scientist that we all know. Because usually what happens is the scientist will end up sacrificing other people to get their goals, and that's what makes them a lunatic scientist. But in Anaxagoras' way, in the pursuit of goals, in the pursuit of information and science and revelations, he will put himself in the line of danger. He will put himself there to see his goals through. The examples I gave is ripping out his own eye, right? And gaining more information about the idea of the soul. to see his sister. He knows he's in pain here. He knows he's so close to death, and still he's trying to find out more information about what's happening here with Kephale, and is Kephale still alive? What is the true meaning behind if the Titans are still here? Are they actually dead? He's sacrificing his own energy and his own self to do this. He's not taking someone else and putting them right in front of the line of fire and going, do this. When it came to the time with the sealing away of the Flame Reaver, he was right in the front lines because, again, he's willing to put himself in front of that in that way too. And you could argue that there's a contrast between him and Aglaea in that sense also, where Aglaea is 100% putting other people in the line of fire because she knows this is for Amphoreus. So there is like similarities and differences. But I'm not saying that makes Aglaea like a bad person. I think it's just a debate to have, like, where it's like Anaxagoras clearly like puts himself in the line of fire, while Aglaea needs to also put other people in the line of fire. You know what I mean? There's like an interesting thing there as well. But we found out from Anaxagoras that, like, you know, he is a very emotional person. We already knew this. He's someone who does care about people. He still carries this doll around that reminds him of his own family pet. He has a sentimentality to him while he also has this like striving for information. And I love that about him, because I think there's one thing to have a character who like is all like about like, oh, I need more information, I need to find this out. That can be terrifying. But it's so weird how like this character who has thrived so much for scientific growth and information and all this stuff too, I don't have a fear of him. I have a trust in him. I have a trust that he will do the right thing. I have a trust that even if he goes against Aglaea, that I will trust what he's doing. I have a trust in this character. He would do the right thing, because I know for a fact that he, even if it's something that like I won't agree with at first, he cares about people. He has sentimentality towards people. He does have a love for people. Yes, he's prickly. Yes, he's hard to deal with, but he genuinely has like a emotional intelligence that rivals some of the most chirpy and beautiful characters in Honkai Star Rail as well, in my opinion too. I just wanted to praise his character a little bit. But yeah, we had the whole negotiation between him and Kynes, and it was very much like him trying to gain Kynes' trust so he could get to see Kephale, it seems. But it seems like the other dude kind of saw through this anyway. He was talking about how, like, you know, there's similar, and again, maybe I read this wrong, but he was saying stuff like, you know, Cerces was sent to execute me, when in reality she was just sent actually the opposite. She was trying to see if he was okay. But like, again, they don't know that. It's like, it's using the information that people might have to your advantage. All they know is Cerces went to the Grove to find an Anaxagoras. She's an executioner. If you don't know Cerces and how beautiful she is as a character, what does that say to you? Is she trying to execute someone? You can put two and two together in your mind, right? So you use kind of all this information to talk about this, and like even said the Cerces would be on our side at one point, which we, you know, I wonder what that means. And eventually to get this audience with Kephale. The audience with Kephale was so interesting to me because he obviously started seeing these spirits of Calypso, Nyas, Polixia was the other name as well, and he heard the name Kaus. What's so interesting about this is that like Honkai Star Rail does like very emotionally heavy situations better than most games ever do, and in this situation it felt very like scary. Him seeing these souls meant he's closer to death than ever before. He's 15 days away from death, and he followed through this. It was kind of like scary too, and kind of nerve-wracking when he was like turning to Cerces and be like, "Can you not see these?" So this all-knowing Cerces wasn't able to see the same things he did. He was able to see like, you know, Calypso, Nyas, Polixia, and hear about Kaus, and you could see he was struggling to do this. This was bearing down on him. And he asked a question here about this that I think is so interesting, is about the idea of humans melding with the souls of Titans to create new Titans, so that maybe the Titans, and I think it's different from obviously the taking of a core flame, right? Because that's becoming a demigod. But in this sense, it seems that he's saying that there is a possibility that people are born to take on the role of a Titan, literally, and meld your soul with a Titan to become that Titan. And then, because in that sense, I wonder if they're saying Kaus became Kephale. You know what I mean? I wonder if they're saying that, you know, because they talk about Polixia being someone who is destined to take on Thanatos. So I wonder if Polixia also is going to take on the soul of Thanatos and become Thanatos in some way, like the melding of that soul to become that Titan. It's interesting, right? It's an interesting question, and it would maybe like also add to the theory of like that the Titans aren't really like dead. Maybe they just don't have people to take over their soul in some way. I don't know. it's interesting as well, because also, like, you know, something I noticed there, and maybe I could be wrong about this, but I think it's like they're not doing this connection for no reason. She had the same ears that Castrus has. She has the same ears that Castrus has. So to me, it like really screams the idea that like maybe it's someone related, like a ancestor, and she's like a descendant of some kind. Maybe. Because it really does feel like they could be related. They have the similar ears and stuff of this too, and it also relates to the idea of the Death Titan as well. So maybe there is something to do with that too. But yeah, that's another thing we're gonna have to, think about going forward. Of course, he said this also could help answer the question of, what are we, right? What are we? But I wonder then, did Calypso meld with Cerces to create Cerces? Did Nyas meld with Nicodor, you know what I mean, to become Nicodor? You know, all this stuff too. Like, I wonder if that's what they're saying here. It's a very interesting idea.
Will you be joining us? Then it's settled.
But yeah, like, more information on that, I'm sure it's going to come forward in the future. There's like a really cool like air about this whole like type of like discussion that's going on here with this, and like what could happen with that too. And now we have Don Hung and Hyacinth at the Grove, and we can kind of wonder what they're going to find here too. But we do know that Don Hung, even with all this information he wants to find out about the Flame Chase journey of the Titans, he still has Stell fully on his mind 100%. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this. I know my thoughts are maybe all over the place with this stuff, but I think there is like some interesting information happening here and some interesting revelations that are going to happen in the future. But I do think that this story in general, in summary, to summarize everything just like in one block, Anaxagoras is dealing with the Council of Elders to find more information, it seems, about Kephale and find more information about the Titans and his theories about the Titans. They're trying to start a civil war against Aglaea. Aglaea needs Anaxagoras. He's now here in front of the world-bearing Titan, finding out more information about stuff like where Titans possibly come from. Are they still alive? He found about, he's kind of getting like a vision of Polixia, Calypso, hearing about Chaos, and seeing Nyas. So all of this, and I know it's kind of like a very basic summary of everything we discussed, but there is like a lot of like different like political things going on between, but that's kind of like the summary of everything that's happening, right? But if you want to see these videos early, this video came out on Thursday. You can see it early just by checking the descriptions below for Patreon. It's the lowest tier, and the same with YouTube members is the lowest tier, which is €1 or $1.50. If you want to see your name scrolling by right now on the text and the credits, it is €10 or $12.50. And if you want to see your name being called out, it is €15 or €17.50. That's every single video you get your name called out. I want to say thank you to my patrons at that tier. That being, let me get the list up right now here. I should be more professional, have it up already, but I don't want to just take out the phone right away when I'm still discussing stuff, you know, so I just kind of like do it as I go. So I want to say thank you to Ty Pharaoh 2, Jamie Bull, Janet the Banana, The Ghost Vinizuma, Lucius Felix, Yuld, Anusta, The Assassin, True Peanut Butter, Peter Shelson, Liam, Ike Kasparian, Jared Beanham, Neo Sharite, and the highest tier in my YouTube, Royal Gamer 7, Blasco, and Lucinagi. See you guys soon. Bye bye.